At 12. Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
Weather, obviously the big story this morning. Taking a live look at the radar. We're sure a lot of you out there woken up dark and early this morning because we saw a lot of lightning, heard a lot of thunder. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey throughout the morning.
Taking a look outside the roads with TransGuide. I know earlier this morning during our commute, there were some issues, some crashes out on the roads in the San Antonio area. Right now, things are looking better, clearer as the rain is lightening up. But Sarah Spivey will give us an update as more bands come in through our area.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. This is Saturday, May 13th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. And talking about the roadways, we cannot emphasize this enough. If you see puddling, if there are barricades, turn around, don't drown. We had a live shot with Katrina Weber, and we saw a Jeep just plow through water.
And just because it might not be raining, if you live in a certain area and know that that area is prone to flooding, that water might still be there. And that's why we have our Katrina Weber. She is covering those areas throughout the morning. But first, we want to check in with the power outages.
That's right. So this has really been up and down through the morning. Initially, 14,000 customers without power. But if you take a look at your screen right now, we're seeing about 7,700 CPS customers affected. And Sarah, you were kind of explaining why these numbers are going up and down through the morning.
Yeah, so initially we had a big hit right after midnight, a really robust line of storms moved through. That line of storms is now pushing through some of our coastal communities, and then they were able to restore some of the power. But around San Antonio, we continue to see these widely separated thunderstorms push through the county, a few flashes of lightning. That's likely why we're seeing some of the power outages go back up, at least a little bit. But the biggest swath of rain right now is east of San Antonio. You can see the very heavy rainfall totals falling through Cuero, Yorktown, out toward Hallettsville, southern Lavaca County. And also we've got a shield of moderate rain that's moving through Wilson and Guadalupe counties as well. Now there are areas that are still under flash flood warnings. That includes Wilson County, Karnes County, DeWitt County, Lavaca County, Gonzales County. This is where very heavy rain has fallen on already saturated soils. That is why there is a flash flood warning until 11 o'clock this morning for those areas. And we really are not seeing this band of thunderstorms move very much. We're seeing a lot of training going on. You know how a train car over train tracks just keeps on going and keeps on going? That's exactly what's happening here. And we're looking at rainfall rates along the order of 7 inches an hour. And look at all the rain that's fallen in these areas. We've even seen some areas like in Gonzales County with 5, 6 inches of rainfall. We're going to talk a little bit more about rainfall around San Antonio as far as a neighborhood view of some rainfall totals. I'll have that for you coming up in just a bit, as well as a look at your forecast, an hour by hour forecast. But as Max and Sarah were talking about, the roads are still kind of messy in some areas, especially the notorious areas, low water crossings. Our Katrina Weber is live right now near Loop 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway, a very heavily populated area. Katrina, what can you tell us that you're seeing?
Well, this was a big mess all morning. Just about 5 minutes ago, police cleared out. Now, they did have the westbound main lanes of 1604 closed here with the traffic being forced off here at Stone Oak Parkway, but they were able to get the problem taken care of. I want to give you a look at the video so you can see what I was talking about. There was water all over the main lanes of the highway, the westbound 1604 near Stone Oak Parkway. It was flooded. Now, it seems that the problem here was a little bit different from what we're seeing on our roads with just too much water coming too quickly. What they had here was a lot of debris clogging the drains on the highway. We actually saw a TxDOT worker come out and clear out all of that debris so that the water could go down and they could reopen this highway. The curious thing is we see a lot of large pieces of debris, bumpers from cars all over the mid area between the access road and the main lanes. It looks like people had some problems trying to go through that water and lost parts of their car. But again, probably the best advice is if you do see high water, ponding water on any of the roadways, whether it's the highway or on any roads in your neighborhood, the best thing to do is find another way around, because we have seen time and time again overnight people getting stuck in that high water. Reporting live on the north side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. If you're about to head out the door this morning, please be careful. Right now on our homepage, we have a list of some of the roads you should avoid during flooding or during these big rain events. It's all on KSAT.com right now.
All right, well, Bexar County and the city of San Antonio not taking any chances with the rain throughout the day. County parks will be closed tomorrow, meaning today, and of course on Mother's Day. The city postponing the openings of the pools until next weekend. So if you do need to get out and about this weekend, like we've been talking about, make sure to watch out for those road closures. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Both Bexar County and the city of San Antonio, they post their emergency closures online. And of course, make sure to stay with us online, KSAT.com. We have all those closures, anything you need to know before you head out the door. Obviously, it has been an eventful week so far at the border, and this rain really adding to some of the chaos amidst the end of Title 42.
That's right. And our Alyssa Cole, she was in Eagle Pass earlier this morning around 6:30, and she gives the latest on the situation down there.
Good morning. Yes, I am in Eagle Pass right now. It's pretty cool and it's calm right now. It's not raining, but take a look at the river behind us. We are down at the riverbanks right across from Mexico. The water has risen a little bit. We noticed we've been out here for a couple of days and it does look a little different, but it's nothing too serious. We did learn from City Council there were some concerns that the river may flood, but that did not happen. They did still take out the time to make this area a little safer by removing some materials that could have caused a hazard in this area, but luckily this area did not flood. Now, when it comes to how the border is looking, when it comes to illegal border crossing, right now there's no activity in this particular area. It is pretty quiet, but it is important to note during these early morning hours, Border Patrol agents are typically very busy capturing people who are crossing illegally. It happens about 2 or 3 miles away from this area. We are under bridge number 2 where it is quiet. National Guard is here right now keeping watch. There's no sign of DPS troopers, but at this moment it seems to be pretty quiet in Eagle Pass. Reporting in Eagle Pass, Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Alyssa. Back here at home, city leaders aren't making any additional plans for a mass shelter. They say San Antonio simply does not have the space to serve more migrants. San Antonio is where so many migrants have stopped for getting rest before they head on to their next and final destination. The Migrant Resource Center on San Pedro Avenue, it does help thousands of migrants each and every month. We actually saw people sitting in line yesterday just outside the building.
And new this morning, San Antonio firefighters had their hands full with several fires overnight during the storm. So let's start with the most recent one. This one started around 5:15 on Astor Street. That's near Fair Avenue and I-37 on the city's southeast side of town. Fire crews say the home was empty when they got to the scene and no one was living there. The fire was quickly put out. No one was hurt.
And just a few hours earlier, San Antonio fire crews put on a different house fire, this one on the city's east side. Take a look. This was a situation just after 2:30 this morning, 2300 block of East Houston Street. That's near South New Braunfels, east of downtown. The home was empty when those flames erupted. Firefighters able to keep the place from going up in smoke. Now, the cause of the fire still under investigation. Here's the good news. No injuries were reported.
And finally, a busy night for fire crews continued on the city's northeast side when smoke was spotted at a home. It happened just before 4:30. This is in the 1400 block of Picardy Drive. That's near the AT&T Center. A small fire was put out quickly by fire crews, and the owners were able to get out safely. There's no official cause for what started the fire. However, crews say it might have been caused by a lightning strike to an AC unit.
Well, time now, 8:09, 64 degrees out.
Still ahead on GMSA Championship Saturday, Max.
That's right, the championship here in the Alamo City. A preview of tonight's XFL title game at the Dome, so you're protected from the rain.
As we have more bands of rain slowly making our way through our area. If you are out and about, even if it's not raining in your area, if there's an area that's, just prone to that flooding or that saturated grounds in San Antonio area, make sure you avoid it. We don't see any incidents popping up on our end, but also check out KSAT.com for a list of all of those road closures happening now.
And of course, download the KSAT Weather Authority app, scan the QR code on your screen, download it, use it to check radar, watch all of our very talented meteorologists, and of course, watch for those live weather updates.
We're going to look at the south side of town with our live cam. You know, this is kind of probably going to be the scene throughout the day. Sarah Spivey will have our full forecast hour by hour when we come back.
Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. Finally, some good rain in San Antonio, but this is some video from overnight. We did have some water rescues overnight in many areas around San Antonio, especially the areas that typically flood. Take a look at this water along this low water crossing here. That was a familiar scene for many folks out and about. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these pictures that were sent in through our KSAT Connect feature on our weather app. This is also an unfortunate side effect of the rain. We did have some wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour, but this KSAT Connect user says, feeling blessed. A tree got knocked over blocking our driveway, but it could have been worse. In addition to the gusty winds, though, this was really just a very good rainfall event. Take a look at that, 3.5 inches of rain on the south side of San Antonio, inside of Loop 410. Thank you so much, John, for sending in that video, that picture, and then nearly 3.5 inches as well up in Hollywood Park. So again, very good rainfall totals out there for many folks. Here's the situation right now. We're going to take some time and look at this radar. We're also going to look at neighborhood rainfall totals. But the area that I want to bring to your attention most immediately right now through San Antonio is this area that is southeast of San Antonio, rather, in a flash flood warning until 11 o'clock. That includes areas in Karnes County, Gonzales County, and DeWitt County. Wilson County has just been excluded from this flash flood warning, so that's some good news there in Wilson County for our Floresville residents. But as we zoom in a little bit more, you can see why this area is under a flash flood warning. Take a look at the amount of rainfall that's falling right now over saturated soils in Cuero and in Lavaca County. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the rainfall rate, how hard the rain is falling in these areas. Anywhere you see this purple color, that is where we have got rainfall rate of about 3 to 5 inches an hour. Heavy rain falling and not really moving either. So these areas are going to get an additional 3+ inches of rain on top of some areas that have seen 5 inches of rainfall near Yorktown. That's what that red color is there. 5-inch rainfall estimates there from the start of the rain a few hours ago. Now let's go ahead and get a little closer to the San Antonio metro area. We do have some showers in Hondo and Sabinal pushing across 90, but around San Antonio, really just a light rain swath across areas near Seguin, New Braunfels, Schertz, Floresville, and Poth. But there is a patch of heavier rain that's pushing through China Grove right now, Calaveras Lake. This is moving to the north at about 25 miles per hour. So areas on the east side of San Antonio, you can expect to see this near Wagner High School shortly here in the next 10-15 minutes or so. Another area that's getting a moderate rain shower right now is along I-10 and between Leon Springs and UTSA and the Rim, kind of closer to Cross Mountain. We can actually get down into a street view here and give you a look at some of the neighborhoods that are getting some of this moderate rain here right along areas like Crestabella. That's where we're seeing some of that more moderate rain at the moment. But as we zoom out a little bit more and get a look at the bigger picture, you can once again see that the heaviest of the rain is going to be staying east of San Antonio today, but we will continue to see a few scattered showers and downpours throughout the day in San Antonio to add on to those rainfall totals. Here's a look at the futurecast, and this shows just that, right? The heaviest of the rain staying east, but around south central Texas, we'll be looking at about 40 to 60% coverage of the showers and storms later on this afternoon too. So keep that in mind. If you have plans out and about, you're going to want to bring the umbrella with you. You're going to want to pack your patience on those roads. And because the grounds are saturated, just please watch out for those low water crossings. As we tune into tomorrow for Mother's Day, we're going to have less coverage in the rain than we did today, but there still will be some areas of showers and storms during the day tomorrow. Let's call it about a 40% coverage. So not enough to cancel your plans, but enough to keep that KSAT Weather Authority app handy. If it has a radar on it, it can tell you when the storms are moving through, and we put an hour-by-hour forecast in there for you. Again, this is a look at Mother's Day close to dinner time. A few scattered showers and downpours will be around. Taking a look at that KSAT 12-hour forecast for the day today. Highest rain coverage this morning over the next few hours. Then in the afternoon, about 40% rain coverage. We're going to stay cloudy today, and temperatures will struggle to get out of the 70s. About 78 for the high, and then this evening will be in the low 70s after sunset. And here's your Mother's Day forecast as well. About 30 to 40% coverage throughout the day tomorrow. We will see a little bit more sun than today. A few peaks of sunshine here and there for Mom. 80 degrees for the high, east winds at 5 to 10. Then you think we're done, but we're not, because on Monday we see another big uptick in the upper level energy that allows for us to feel pretty confident about widespread showers and storms on Monday. Then we finally get an opportunity to dry out on Thursday and Friday. I'll tell you what, though, I'm not complaining. We desperately need this rain. Coming up in the next half hour, I'm going to tell you how long it's been since we've seen as much rain as we saw this morning in San Antonio. The number may surprise you, how many days it's been since we have seen more than 2¼ inches of rain at the airport.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. And on CPS's outage map right now, it actually says our crews are working to restore service quickly and safely to impacted customers. We apologize for the inconvenience, and we do appreciate any patience. And those latest numbers, about 7,300 people without power. So if you're watching us on your tablet or your phone, you are not alone. A lot of people out and about, really spread throughout San Antonio, don't have power this morning. All right. We have a lot more to talk about. We'll be right back.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
All right, looking ahead, San Antonio hosting the XFL Championship tonight in the Alamodome. Look at The Rock. I don't want to stand next to this guy. Unfortunately, the Brahmas will not be playing. Instead, the North Division champion DC Defenders taking on the South Division champion Arlington Renegades, the first XFL title, at least the revamped XFL title. The Renegades, led by head coach Bob Stoops, who mainly has experience from coaching the Oklahoma Sooners. In college ball, we know there's usually about a month between the end of the regular season and bowl games. So we asked Bob Stoops to compare this year's 2-week prep with what he's used to.
Bowl prep used to be like spring ball, where we took the seniors out and just used the young guys. Well, we're not, you can't do that here. So anyhow, there's not a lot to compare really, but we've had plenty of time to get prepared and ready, and that part of it, seems natural.
All right, so take a look. This is what the trophy is. See
it.
Brahmas are not getting it this year. Kickoff at the Dome set for 7 p.m. tonight, and it's a good thing they're in the Dome because weather.
Right.
All right, time is 8:23, 64 degrees out.
Just ahead, before 8:30, several athletes from our area are newly crowned state champs. In track and field, we have those highlights next.
All right, UIL State Track and Field Championships this week. San Antonio, we had great representation. Take a look. Start with the girls' 200-meter dash. How about sophomore Alyssa Jones out of Smithson Valley, hanging with the leaders at the turn on the burners down the stretch, coming in to win it 23.59 seconds. She also took silver in the long jump. And Seguin senior Christian Ramirez dominating the 400-meter wheelchair division, crossing the line first in 1 minute, 4.26 seconds, one of 2 medals he won on the day. And look at that. I mean, clear, distinct winner. And then here we go. Bernie champion freshman Elizabeth Leachman crushing the field in the girls' 6.
Easy.
I know. The girls' 6. There was no one even close. She wins it. Oh, this is astonishing. So 1,600 meters is a mile.
Yeah.
Her mile time here, 4 minutes and 47.28 seconds. A victory by 9 full seconds. As you can see, there's no one even close. That's sub 5-minute mile. That's incredible.
She's sprinting, but it looked like she was jogging.
Just a quick jog.
Yeah.
Just
easy jog.
Taking a look at some podium finishes from our area. Smithson girls winning the 4x2 and the 4x4 meter relay, claiming the overall team title with 62 points, while Smithson Valley junior Freddie DeBose, finished 3rd overall in the boys 400 meter run, a time of 48.68 seconds. Alamo Heights senior Leo Bowen Well, bringing home silver in the pole vault. I was always way too scared to try the pole vault. It's terrifying. And we got Seguin second in the 100-meter dash and in the wheelchair division. Steven Sr., Alicia Mears taken second in the shot put. We have full results. Just head to KSAT.com. And congratulations to everyone who we talked about making it look easy. I'm
interviewing Alicia this week.
There you go. Look at that. Perfect tease.
Yeah.
All right. Time is just about 8:29, 64 degrees.
Well, still ahead at 8:30, a U.S. service member who stopped in San Antonio on his way to Nevada gets his U-Haul stolen with all his belongings inside and it was all caught on camera. Plus,
we know that we still need to prepare for the unknown.
Border officials say there hasn't been a surge of migrants so far after the end of Title 42. What they're doing to stay ready, we're going to explain next. Good morning and welcome back. So we've been covering the weather extensively this morning. Obviously the big story really the last 24 hours. Taking a live look out at radar here. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments.
you can see some of those showers still happening on the east side of San Antonio, more outside of our viewing, in our other viewing areas. But this is what's happening in town right now. You see a car stalled at 37, Loop 410 and Evers. You can see that the water is still clearly on the roads, even if it might not be, pouring or showering in your area. If any incidents do pop up, we will let you know about them.
Good morning. 8:33 this morning. It is May 13th. It is Saturday. And as Sarah's been telling us, May really is the month where we get the most amount of rain.
I know a lot of us probably woken up by that loud thunder overnight or the lightning show that was happening in your bedroom. But we want to take a look at the outages happening around town. 7,176, that number going up and down throughout the morning.
That's right. So, Sarah, are we going to be done with the rain anytime soon?
Well, we will see scattered showers and storms throughout the day today, but the main heaviest of the rain is east of San Antonio. And look at the rainfall total at the airport. 2 inches and 3/100 inches of rainfall today at the airport. That is amazing. That is the most one-day rain total since October 13th of 2021. That is 577 days. Yeah, it caused some issues out there on the roads, but it is good for us to finally be getting some rain. Let's take a look at the live radar right now. You can see the heaviest of the rain falling right now through DeWitt County, near Cuero, near Victoria as well. We are seeing some more moderate, light to moderate rain falling in Guadalupe County, Wilson County, southern Atascosa County, and even parts of eastern Bexar County. But only a few scattered downpours have been moving into San Antonio, and that's going to be the trend. So very high rainfall chances east of San Antonio. Around the Alamo City, it's on the order of 40 to 60% coverage and 30 to 40% coverage out west today. So for the San Antonio, the remainder of the day, 60% coverage, a little bit less in the afternoon, 78 for the high, 40% scattered showers and storms tomorrow during Mother's Day. So not a washout by any means, but there still will be some rain there, and even higher rain chances early to start the work week next week. Coming up, neighborhood views of the rainfall totals coming up in just a bit. Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Now is a great time. If you haven't already, download the KSAT Weather Authority app. You can use it to check the live radar. I think that's one of the best things that's on that app. Is like, I used it definitely at 4 this morning to make sure my drive was going to be safe. You have live updates from our meteorologist right on your phone. The KSAT Weather Authority app is available right now in your app store. You can also scan this QR code that's on your screen right now.
All right, well, this morning as the southern border braces for another potential surge of migrants. Remember, after the end of Title 42, officials say they haven't yet seen a huge surge.
And however, as ABC's Will Carr reports, northern cities are declaring states of emergency with asylum seekers being bussed in.
This morning, uncertainty and confusion at the border following the end of Title 42, the COVID-era policy allowing for swift expulsions at the border.
No mas.
Hearing of a large group of migrants at the border ready to claim asylum, we crossed into Matamoros, where 1,500 people are living in tents.
This is a massive campsite on this side of the river here in Mexico, and it is filled with people living in squalid conditions.
Some tents assembled with nothing more than tarps and tree branches, and there are piles and piles of trash. Across the river, there's razor wire and the National Guard. Most migrants tell us They're waiting to book an asylum interview on the CBP One app, but continue to have problems with the technology.
There is no internet going on this border town. Internet's very important, or you can't use the app.
Those who have made it across describe a terrifying path. We met Betty from Ecuador outside of a bus station in Brownsville. Carrying a blue bag with all of her documents, she crossed just before Title 42 was lifted. It's hard to get a visa in Ecuador, she tells me. I had to save my family's life and come here this way. But Friday, DHS officials saying the surge so far has not been as drastic as many predicted.
We did not see a substantial increase overnight or an influx at midnight.
Still, an estimated record 10,000 migrants crossing per day this week, 1,800 coming into El Paso on Thursday alone. Confusing matters, a federal judge in Florida on the eve of Title 42's end, blocking part of the White House's immigration policies from taking effect, now barring federal agencies from releasing migrants before they've been given a notice to appear in court. The White House blaming the last-minute litigation as a Republican stunt.
Instead of trying to deal with an issue or talking to the federal government how to deal with an issue, they actually sabotage what we're trying to do.
But many Republican and Democratic leaders nationwide calling on the administration for more support. New York City and Chicago declaring states of emergency as cities nationwide struggle to deal with the influxes of migrants.
Some of those migrants have been bused from right here in Texas. It is unclear what we're going to see here at the border in the coming days and weeks. There is still the concern there could be a surge. In Brownsville, Texas, Will Carr, ABC News.
And now on KSAT.com, even before Title 42 was lifted, those seeking asylum have traveled here to catch buses or flights to join their families in the U.S. We spoke to several migrants at the San Antonio International Airport, as well as an immigration attorney who fear for them. You can read the latest on this story on our homepage.
Well, former Bexar County jailer sentenced to 5 years probation for allegedly assaulting an inmate. Eduardo Sanchez charged with aggravated assault causing bodily injury back in May of 2020. On this past Friday, he was sentenced for, quote, intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly causing harm to an inmate while on duty. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says deputies were called to get the inmate under control while he was causing a disturbance. One of those deputies was Sanchez, and during the struggle, he punched the inmate with a pair of handcuffs, injuring his eye. He was fired by the sheriff's office after being indicted by a grand jury.
Meanwhile, a senior airman in the Air Force made a quick stop in the Alamo City, had a U-Haul with all of his belongings stolen from him, and it was all caught on camera. Just take a look. Jerome Taborn is relocating from Louisiana to Nevada, and during the move, he decided to stay for a night at his parents' house in North San Antonio. So what you're looking at now is that Ring doorbell video. You can see the moment someone tries tampering with the lock on a U-Haul before getting inside and driving away. Taborn says his whole life was in that truck.
Pretty painful because it's just confirming that the fact that it wasn't an accident, like somebody was out there and they were going through my stuff and they were working hard to get what I had and what I earned, and that pretty much everything that I have. It really hurts people when you take their things and you steal from them.
Taborn says he hopes the person who stole his U-Haul will bring back his belongings. If you know anything that can help police find the person who is responsible, just call that number on your screen right now. That is SAPD's non-emergency number, 210-207-7273.
Time now 8:40, 64 degrees.
Let's take a look outside with the roads, as we know that some of the roads are still wet, or some areas, especially the east part of San Antonio, experiencing some rain at this time. 410 and Jackson Keller, not really seeing anything out there, but if there are areas in San Antonio that are prone to flooding, even if it's not raining. You can find the link to all those areas right now on KSAT.com.
And we have to tell you, you're probably already in trouble. Mother's Day is almost here. Scan the QR code on the screen right now. You can send us pictures of your mom if you haven't gotten her gifts or flowers yet.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
This could be the way to make up for it. Send us the pictures. We'll celebrate all the moms out there tomorrow on GMSA. I don't want to put you on the hot spot here.
As if you were like implying that Sarah.
Did you get your beautiful mom, Patty? I hope she's watching. Did you get her a gift yet or flowers?
Good morning, Patty. We'll find out tomorrow. Hey,
Great.
Sarah Spivey will have the Mother's Day forecast and their forecast hour by hour when we come back.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm meteorologist Sarah Spivey. What a busy morning for all of us around San Antonio. If you didn't get much sleep, it's because we got a lot of rain. And it's not only us, it's a lot of Texas too. In fact, we've got 2 low pressure systems that are bringing flood watches all the way from the valley up toward the Red River. Now, San Antonio is still under a flood watch until later on tonight, although I do have to say the heaviest of our rain is east of San Antonio right now. Here's that low pressure system in North Texas and the low pressure system that's moving through the valley right now of South Texas. Meanwhile, off to the west, there's another low right near Baja California. This one's going to continue to move east and give us another chance for rain, especially on Monday. But there's a lot to talk about. Let's start with a look outside right now. 65 degrees, still some light rain reported at the airport. And as we take a look at the radar, a few things I want to highlight. First, I want to highlight the areas that are experiencing the heavy rain right now. We're looking at areas like Cuero, Victoria, parts of Lavaca County, Gonzales County. This is very, very, very heavy rain. Rainfall rates of 3 to 4 inches an hour on ground that has already taken in 5 inches of rain just since about a little after midnight. Now, this entire area here is actually under a flash flood warning. You can see a flash flood warning for DeWitt County, parts of Lavaca County, just the west of Hallettsville, Gonzales County under this warning as well, Kennedy and Karnes County, so Karnes City, and areas south of Goliad also under a flash flood warning. This particular warning expires at 11 a.m. It'll be interesting to see if it gets extended at all. But we are seeing, again, some of that heavier rain south of Gonzales and out near Kennedy. As we look closer to San Antonio metro area, areas like New Braunfels are dealing with some light to moderate rain falling over Seguin and Lavernia. You'll notice very clearly that areas east of San Antonio have the higher rainfall right now, while areas west are dealing with some isolated downpours that are moving through close to Utopia, Sabinal. This is actually formed along an outflow boundary from some storms that were just working their way through San Antonio here, widely scattered. And so in and around the Alamo City, we're going to have only a 40% chance in the afternoon for additional development. Again, the heaviest of the rain is going to continue to slowly push east today, and so that's where the flooding risk is highest. But at least we got a lot of good rain around San Antonio. Let me show you here the storm totals from the storms since after midnight. As we look at some of these neighborhoods around San Antonio, anywhere you see the yellows, that's where you've seen 2-3 inches of rainfall. In fact, we can go ahead and highlight some of these areas like Leon Valley and Palo Alto College, seeing about 3 inches of rainfall estimated rain, radar estimated rainfall, nearly 3 inches, close to 281 and 410. So very good rainfall. At least we've seen some of that fall along the Edwards Aquifer contributing in recharge zone 2. So we should expect to see the aquifer responding very nicely to this rain as well. Let me take you through the futurecast. Again, the heaviest of the rain staying east today, but we will still carry a 40% chance for scattered showers and storms this afternoon and even into the early evening hours. Then tomorrow for Mother's Day, once again, there is a chance for a few pop-up showers and storms as well, although coverage will be a little less. And we could see some peaks of sunshine tomorrow too, which would be pretty nice and welcome. So looking at your KSAT 12-hour forecast, scattered showers and storms, about 60 to 70% chance this morning. Then afternoon, that goes down to about 40% chance. We'll stay cloudy with a high of 78. And then later on tonight, our temperatures will fall into the 70s, low 70s after sunset. I mentioned that low that's currently near Baja California. Here's what that does to our rain chances on Monday. Really spikes them up before we see things taper down by Thursday and Friday of this upcoming week. Tomorrow, Mother's Day, go out. Enjoy your time. Just know that you'll want to keep the radar handy with you. 30 to 40% coverage throughout the day tomorrow. 80 for the high because of those peaks of sunshine. East winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Putting it all together for you in your planning forecast. Again, we are going to continue to see some showers and storms, although coverage is going to come down. Tomorrow, only 40% coverage, 70% coverage on Monday. Things start to dry out for us during the latter half of next week. Highs will be in the mid 80s. Hey, we'll be back to show you some pictures through our KSAT Connect feature a little bit later on. More news after the break.
Looking ahead, today is the country's 31st anniversary of the Stamp Out Food Drive. So mail carriers around the nation want you to donate to fight food insecurity. The United States Postal Service will accept food donations that it will donate to local pantries, so you can hand them cans and other non-perishables tomorrow when you see them. This food drive has been going on for more than 30 years. I know I got my blue bag and I put some cans in there and they give you a little thank you note. The U.S. Postal Service says it's collected more than 1.8 billion pounds of food in that
We like
time.
to be exact here. That is a lot of food. Also looking ahead, it is XFL Championship weekend. Via can get you to and from the game. They are offering free trips to and from the Dome with $1.30 each way. The Via Park and Ride is at 151 Crossroads Boulevard. Via is going to start moving people 2 hours before the game, 1 hour after it ends. If you have any questions, if you plan to head to the game, which you should, we have all those answers right now, and we have a little history on how it got here. Just head to KSAT.com. Do you have a pick a side yet?
No, I wanted the Brahmas, you know.
Well, they won't have it this year. Time now, 8:53, 64 degrees.
Just had David Elder taking us to downtown San Antonio for what he says is the last burger you'll ever need. The preview of a brand new episode is next. That's a big deal if he's saying that.
I know.
So this is a burger we all grew up in our childhood. It's the McDonald's classic. Ketchup, mustard, a little bit of minced onions and house-made pickles. I just elevated the McDonald's burger we all grew up with. We just made it better.
Take that, McDonald's. Yeah, we got your burger and made it better. So what do you call it, though, on the menu?
The standard.
The
because
standard.
It's what everyone's chasing.
There we go. The standard, that's the bite. Oh, come on. Give us a foot. Bam. That's a double bam. That is so good.
I want it.
That looks phenomenal.
I want it.
We do this all the time. Thick or smash burgers?
Oh, smash burgers all the way. Yeah. And usually I'm not a ketchup on your burger kind of girl. Like I like just like, you know, mayo, avocado. But that I like that it was like
fancy over here.
I like that it was a reference to the McDonald's burgers.
Yeah, it's
but
like McDonald's
elevated.
but better.
Nice.
All right, if it's a good burger, you don't need anything on it. That's neither here nor there. 8:57, 64 degrees out.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9. Netflix is looking to save around $300 million this year. What they've got planned for the rest of the year, that's coming up.
And up next, San Antonio firefighters very busy overnight between not only the rain, but a couple house fires. We're going to get you caught up on what's going on in and around the Alamo City.
Taking a look outside with the roads, the rain is the story today throughout the weekend. Right now, not seeing a lot of actual rain happening on our cameras, but the roads are still wet. Haven't seen any incidents pop up right now this morning. I know earlier this morning we did have a couple. If anything does, we'll let you know about it.
And of course, with the light show this morning, a lot of people hearing thunder. There's a lot of power outages. So take a look at your screen right now. We're looking at about 5,000 customers without power, and this has really been going up and down throughout the morning. I think the peak was early this morning around 4 a.m., 14,000 people affected, but it's gone up and down throughout the morning. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. 9 o'clock this Saturday. It is May 13th, and like Sarah's been saying, May is when we get most of the rain.
And oh my gosh, we got so much rain between midnight and about 2:30 this morning. I know a lot of you watching were probably woken up by the thunder, the lightning. Now, Sarah, that's really not going to be the case throughout the day, but we're still going to see some showers.
Absolutely, especially around San Antonio. And I think this radar image shows the picture perfectly. Heavy rain still falling east of San Antonio. Right now around the Alamo City, we are in a bit of a break of the rain, but just to the west, we've seen some more redevelopment out near Sabinal, Uvalde, Concan, those areas. So we will still carry a chance for some scattered showers and storms. However, I do have to say it are these areas east of San Antonio that we really are starting to see some of that dangerous flash flooding. Flash flood warning still in effect for DeWitt County, Karnes County, Gonzales County until until 11 o'clock. There's been even some reports of flash flooding along low water crossings, those kinds of things. This is where the heaviest of the rain is going to stay for the remainder of the day, but we are still seeing some moderate rain out near Floresville, moderate rain out near Seguin as well. And again, in San Antonio, a bit of a break from the rainfall at the moment, but throughout the day, we could still see passing showers and even a few rumbles of thunder. One thing I want to bring your attention to is even though it is quiet around San Antonio right now, all of that water still has to drain into our rivers. So there is a flood warning for the San Antonio River, particularly from Elmendorf down to Floresville. It is expected to reach moderate flood stage by Tuesday. By tonight, overnight tonight. It has risen to 20 feet since 5 a.m. today, and it's expected to crest at 41 feet overnight. So it's going to rise by another 20 feet. It will eventually recede Monday evening, and that's when the warning will be over. And the impacts here are mainly for pasture land and roads right along that San Antonio River. And so if you live along that San Antonio River from Elmendorf down to Floresville and even south, just be aware that the river is going to rise by some 20 feet by midnight tonight. So keep that in mind. A lot of people do build away from that river in flood stage, but it's still something that we'll be keeping our eye on. Now, for the remainder of the day today, about 60% coverage in the showers and storms, especially east. Tomorrow for Mother's Day, there's a 40% chance for some scattered downpours. Less coverage tomorrow, even some peaks of sunshine, high of 80 degrees tomorrow. I'll be back to show you some of your pictures of your ring gauges and some of the light show last night too. Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, San Antonio firefighters had their hands full with several fires overnight during the storm. The first fire started around 5:15 on Astor Street. That's near Fair Avenue and I-37 on the city's southeast side of town. Fire crews say the home was empty when they got to the scene and no one was living there. The fire was put out quickly and no one was hurt.
And just a few hours earlier, San Antonio firefighters working on another house fire, this one east of downtown. Take a look. This just after 2:30 this morning. This is the 2300 block of East Houston Street. That's near South New Braunfels, east of downtown. The home empty when the fire broke out. The firefighters able to keep the place from going up in smoke. Right now, investigators still working to figure out how exactly this started. The good news, no injuries were reported.
And finally, a busy night for fire crews continued on the northeast side. That's when smoke was spotted at a home. It happened just before 4:30 on the 1400 block of Picardy Drive. That's near the AT&T Center. The small fire was put out quickly and the owners were able to get out safely. There's no official cause for this fire. However, crews do say it might have been caused, get this, by a lightning strike that hit an AC unit. And now to the war in Ukraine. The reported signs of Kyiv are gearing up for its counteroffensive. ABC's Marcus Moore has the latest.
This morning, Ukrainian forces advancing, pushing back Russian troops as Ukraine prepares for its expected major counteroffensive.
When we begin to get reports of Ukrainian actions, we should not assume that that's the main effort, and we should not draw conclusions from that.
Ukrainian forces saying they're making a number of successful counterattacks around Bakhmut, inflicting heavy casualties on Russian fighters, forcing some to run from their positions. This body camera footage showing Ukrainian troops rushing out of an armored vehicle on the battlefield near Bakhmut. A grenade purportedly thrown by Russian troops lands nearby. The Ukrainian soldiers run to safety. The dramatic footage also showing Ukrainian troops discovering a Russian foxhole and destroying it with a grenade. These videos circulating online amid reports of shelling in Russian-occupied Luhansk, and this video capturing smoke billowing from an industrial plant in the city. What caused the explosion not yet confirmed. Those blasts coming just a day after the UK said it supplied Ukraine with long-range Storm Shadow cruise missiles. Now Russia, which has spent months making Bakhmut its main offensive goal, not only failing to fully take the prized region, but reportedly suffering more setbacks in its war effort.
You have a low-level initiative, good leadership, strong cohesion, very strong tactical discipline among the Ukrainian forces. And on the Russian side, complete opposite.
As Marcus Moore reporting, well, loud explosions were heard overnight in Gaza as fighting and rockets continue in that area. Israel claims to have struck 2 command centers belonging to senior operatives of the Islamic Jihad terrorist group. And this comes just a day after Israel killed a commander of the terrorist organization. All in the latest wave of attacks. It's also targeted military posts and a mortar launcher in Gaza. At least 33 Palestinians have now died since the fighting began last week. And in just the last 8 hours, we've learned that Islamic Jihad targets, they actually started shooting rockets at Jerusalem for the first time in this current conflict. Palestinian militants launching rockets towards Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and Israeli settlements in the West Bank.
Texas GOP-led State House has voted to ban gender-affirming care for transgender minors. State lawmakers voted to pass a bill that would prohibit minors from undergoing surgery or taking medication for the purpose of transitioning their biological sex. The legislation does allow doctors to use medication to help wean patients undergoing transitioning off of treatment in a safe manner over a period of time. The bill now heads to the Texas Senate.
In your morning consumer news, streaming giant Netflix reportedly looking to cut $300 million in their budget this year. All of this according to a new report from the Wall Street Journal. The Journal reporting that Netflix trying to improve its profitability in an ever-increasingly competitive market. Unlike most of its rivals that are actually still losing money on streaming, Netflix has turned a profit for several years now. Netflix stock up about 17% just this year.
Well, Elon Musk is stepping down as CEO of Twitter. He made that announcement yesterday, and he's hired a longtime media executive, Linda Yaccarino, for the job. She's leaving NBC Universal, where she served as chairman for the global advertising and partnerships for 11 years. That's notable because Musk has clashed with mainstream media outlets in the past. He said he hates advertising. Musk says that she is slated to start the job in 6 weeks. In his announcement, Musk said that she will focus primarily on the business operation side of things, while he focuses on product design and the new technology.
All right, here we go. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. If you're not ready, get ready. Americans are spending big this year. The National Retail Association and Prosper Insights and Analytics says Sunday, tomorrow, should actually set a new Mother's Day record. This analytics firm predicts that consumers will shell out, guess this, $35.7 billion for moms around the country based on their annual survey. So that's nearly $4 billion more than last year's record high. Most popular gifts, flowers and cards.
What do you go the flowers route? Do you do the cards route?
Why not both?
Gift card route?
I don't do gift cards.
Yeah, but if it's to like a massage,
that's
like a
true.
facial.
That's true. I just feel like the gift card, I love gift cards, but I feel like it's so impersonal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give gift cards.
I know. Your mom already texted us this morning. Hi, Patty. Thank you for watching. Time now just about 9:10, 64 degrees.
Okay, let's take a look outside with live cam. It's going to be kind of just, this is going to what it's going to look like throughout the day. Those clouds lingering, some showers throughout the day. Sarah Spivey will give us a better breakdown of our forecast for today and tomorrow when we come back.
Well, welcome back. I'm meteorologist Sarah Spivey. I wanted to show you some of the pictures you sent in through our KSAT Connect feature on our weather app. Some of your rainfall totals. Take a look at this. This is Hollywood Park, 3.5 inches of rainfall. Very nice there in Hollywood Park. Unfortunately, there were some wind gusts overnight of up to about 60 miles per hour. So unfortunately, there are some downed tree limbs in some areas. Make sure for insurance purposes to write down the date and the time the storms moved through. Storms moved through San Antonio between about midnight and 2. Here's a look at our area inside of Loop 410 on the south side of San Antonio, about 3.5 inches of rain there as well. Alrighty, outside right now it's 65 degrees. Winds are from the east-northeast at about 15 miles per hour. And here is a look at the radar right now. I'm showing you rainfall totals out to the west because some of our western counties did end up getting at least some decent rainfall. Concan area seeing about 2 inches of rain. Uvalde seeing about 2 inches of rainfall as well. Del Rio area about 5 inches of rainfall just to the west of the border. 7 inches of rain nearer to areas like Eagle Pass. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look at the radar that's a little bit closer to San Antonio. And you can see, I'm going to step off here for a second because this hand tracker is not really working that well for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here to areas across parts of eastern San Antonio, and you can see there's some isolated showers in eastern San Antonio here between San Antonio and Schertz, but we do have some of that heavier rain out toward Gonzales, Cuero, Yorktown, Kennedy. This is actually where we've got a flash flood warning at the moment. That flash flood warning is in effect until 11 o'clock this morning. Very heavy rain falling over areas in DeWitt County, Gonzales County, and it's these areas that have seen already seen about 3 to 5 inches of rainfall. That's what this area of red is here, about 5 inches of radar estimated rain. Even near Smiley, we've seen close to 6 inches of radar estimated rain. Now around San Antonio, plenty of rainfall there too, near Hollywood Park. As we saw earlier, about 3.5 inches of rain, 3 inches of radar estimated rainfall near downtown, 2.5 inches as well. So very good rainfall totals for us. And I'm going to circle right here the Edwards Aquifer contributing zone and the recharge zone. Anywhere you see in this area a yellow color, that is 2 inches of radar estimated rain. I fully expect for the aquifer to really recharge here pretty well. As you can see, the heaviest of the rain has moved east to San Antonio, but just like we're seeing a few showers and storms out near Concan, Sabinal, Medina, we are going to continue to see that potential here in San Antonio as well. All right, you take a look at the futurecast. Heaviest rain staying east of San Antonio throughout the remainder of the day, but we're still going to carry about a 40% chance. And then as we head into the evening hours, the rain will turn off. However, by the start of the day tomorrow, we could see a few isolated showers and storms. Mother's Day, we're going to carry about a 30 to 40% chance. So a lot less coverage on Mother's Day, but it is still going to be a day where we'll want to keep the radar handy in case you're out and about and happen upon a shower or a storm. Any showers or storms that develop could produce some pretty heavy rain, and again, those grounds are already saturated. In your KSAT 12-hour forecast, highest coverage of the showers and storms happening right now. We'll see that come down a little bit this afternoon. 78 for the high temperature, right around 4 or 5. So relatively cool day with the rain-cooled air out there and the cloud cover, and then only isolated showers and storms later on tonight. Looking at our rain chances, they go down to 40% as I mentioned tomorrow, but 70% on Monday. We're not done with the rain yet. I know there's a lot of people out west who may be disappointed in the rainfall totals. When we were talking about that rainfall total of 4 to 5 inches, that included through Monday. So we've still got some time to add to those rain gauges if you've been missing out on that rain. And then by Thursday and Friday, our tap turns off for a bit. Tomorrow, Mother's Day, here's a look at that forecast for you. 30 to 40% chance. We'll wake up at 65, noon 72, 80 for the high, east winds at 5 to 10. And then again, looking at that 7-day forecast, only scattered showers Tuesday and Wednesday, isolated Thursday and Friday. It's going to end up getting pretty warm pretty quickly without the rain. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s by the end of the week. Sarah and Max.
Wow. Thank you, Sarah.
Go check on our onions. These look beautiful. Look at the color on that now. Time to pull these bad boys out, let them drip. I'm just gonna set them right here. Great color on them, and they smell incredible. As soon as any fried item you have comes out of the oil, wanna make sure you cover them in salt, right? That salt's gonna adhere to it, gives it a lot of great flavor. And then to finish it all off, beautiful parsley all over everything.
Oh, looks so good. I'm, you know, a good sauce gets me. You know, if there's like mayo in there, it's mayo-based sauce.
So he was cooking that right in the backyard.
Don't laugh at me, Tony.
He was cooking that right in our backyard. And you know, if you know KSAT, when he's making stuff, people just surprisingly go say, hi. Hi,
all
David.
All of a sudden, people come very friendly.
How's it go? Everyone's David's best friend when he's cooking in the backyard. I will say one time he was making a huge sirloin. I had some chimichurri in there, and I was like, oh, what are you up to?
You then became the best friend.
I'm the best friend, even though he gives me no food. Time now, 9:22, 64 degrees.
Up next, a look at what's trending on KSAT.com, including, yes, a new pair of baby seals at SeaWorld. You don't want to miss it.
Good morning and welcome back. Just in time to celebrate Mother's Day. SeaWorld San Antonio had a new member of the seal family, harbor seal Nessie, giving birth last Sunday morning to a currently unnamed male pup. It weighs in at approximately 20 pounds. New pup, part of 3 generations of harbor seals at the Pacific Point Preserve, joining grandmother Mackenzie, mom Nessie, and his sister Lucille. All this according to SeaWorld San Antonio. They're going to be going through a naming process the next couple weeks, so stay with us. Maybe viewers will be able to vote on a name.
Oh my God, cutest thing all morning. Precious. I need more. I need more seal video. Okay, another one of those mystery World War II era objects has washed up on a Texas beach recently. So officials with Mustang Island State Park, that's near Corpus Christi, shared a video of a park ranger standing on a shore full of seaweed Wednesday, but it's what he shows off at the end of the video that has everyone talking. The object had barnacles, clams, and algae growing on the outside. According to a Facebook post from Padre Island National Seashore, it was a rubber bale. Officials say these rubber bales started washing up on the beaches in Texas and in Florida in 2020.
Interesting.
Yeah, head to KSAT.com and it explains it a lot more in detail.
Let's read that one. All right, time now 9:27, 64 degrees.
Okay, like Max has been saying, don't forget, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. So scan this code that's on your screen right now, and it can help you upload all those photos with your mom.
We can celebrate with you tomorrow. Both of us have gotten texts from our respective moms.
Yeah, my mom's watching.
Mine is too. My mom was like, hey, I'm here, I'm watching. I was like, oh, hey, Mom,
Like,
all right.
I'm watching too.
On top of Mother's Day tomorrow, obviously, our mothers are the most important people in the world to us. But one of the biggest stories of the morning, the weather. Taking a live look out at the current outage numbers. This has gone up and down through the morning. At its peak, 14,000 CPS customers without power. We are down to 5,000. CPS saying on that little alert at the bottom of your screen, the weather alert, they say they are out and about doing what they can to get power restored. So really asking customers to be patient throughout the morning. You are not alone. If anything else pops up, we'll keep you posted. All right, weather, the big story this morning, taking a live look here at radar. As you can tell, still a lot going on. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments.
You see those showers on the southeast side of town. So if you're driving on the road on the southeast side, you may experience some showers, but not all parts of San Antonio are having rain, but the roads still look very wet out there. We haven't really seen any big incidents traffic-wise pop up, but we do know that those areas that are prone to flooding, 90 at General McMullen, you're going to see those issues. So if you know those areas, 90 and 36 also having some issues throughout the morning, but we'll bring you, there's a map on KSAT.com of those areas that tend to flood. You can head to it and look at those areas.
I think the biggest thing that we try to reiterate this morning is be smart, be safe. If you see a big puddle or if you see anything like that,
don't drive through it.
Turn around, don't drown. If you see barricades, don't go around it. But that being said, good morning. It is Saturday. It is May 13th. It has been an eventful morning. If you're like us who were woken up, about midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., the thunder, the lightning.
I feel like was peak. The thunder and lightning was really intense. Thank goodness that's not what, for the most part, most of us inside San Antonio are experiencing right now. But first, before we head out to Sarah Spivey, we want to take a look at these power outages, which have been kind of up and down throughout the morning, Max.
Right. So, and the crazy part to me is it's so widespread. It's not concentrated in any particular area. But yes, Sarah, as you said, up and down through the morning, really peaked out at around 14,000 customers affected around 4 a.m. this morning. We're now down to about 5,000, Sarah. And so are we done with the big weather this morning?
The heaviest of the rain is east of San Antonio, but we will still have a few areas of scattered showers today. And it has been a very good rainfall event for us. We have seen 2.31 inches of rain at the San Antonio International Airport. This is the most rain from a single event since October 13th of 2021. That is 577 days. We desperately needed this rain, and there's more to come too. Take a look at your radar right now. You can see that there are plenty of showers and storms still out east toward Gonzales. Cuero, Floresville, Kennedy, these areas under a flash flood warning until 11 o'clock this morning. Flash flooding is ongoing out east of San Antonio. We had a flash flood warning in San Antonio until 6 a.m. That has since expired, and you can still see that there are some areas of moderate rain for areas in eastern San Antonio. Notice some isolated showers out near Concan and Uvalde. Later this afternoon, we are going to still continue to have a 30 to 40% chance for showers and storms, and all of this water is draining into the rivers. There is a river flood warning for the San Antonio River from Elmendorf down to Floresville. Moderate flood stage is likely overnight. It's forecast to crest to 41 feet. That's a 20-foot jump from right now to later on tonight. It'll eventually recede Monday evening, but if you have pasture land and if you know roads along San Antonio River from Elmendorf to Floresville, know that those may be inundated, so keep that in mind. Here's what we're going to talk about for the rest of the day. We're going to have on and off rain, passing showers and storms. The severe threat is very, very low. Tomorrow for Mother's Day, we'll be dodging a few downpours, about 40% scattered downpours. Not too bad for Mother's Day as long as you have access to a radar. And then on Monday, we're going to have more rain, scattered downpours likely. I have seen a mix of emotions from people. Most people are excited about the rain. Some people wanted more rain. Don't worry, we have another opportunity for rain, especially on Monday. So just pack your patience. I know we've been in drought for quite some time, but this is a good sign that the weather pattern is changing. I'm going to show you some of your pictures and rainfall totals coming up in just a bit. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, a former Bexar County jailer sentenced to 5 years probation for assaulting an inmate. Take a look. Eduardo Sanchez charged with aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury, and the event happened back in May of 2020. But just yesterday, he was sentenced for, quote, intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly causing harm to an inmate while on duty. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says deputies were called to get the inmate under control, and this happened while he was causing a disturbance. One of those deputies who responded was Sanchez, and during the struggle, Sanchez punched the inmate with a pair of handcuffs, injuring his eyes. Now, Sanchez fired by the sheriff's office after being indicted by a grand jury.
Meanwhile, a senior airman in the Air Force made a quick stop in the Alamo City, had a U-Haul with all his belongings stolen from him, and was all caught on camera. Take a look. Jerome Taborn is relocating from Louisiana to Nevada. During the move, he decided to stay in San Antonio at his parents' house in the city's northwest side. So what you're looking at your screen right now is the Ring doorbell video. You can see the moment when someone tries tampering with the lock on the U-Haul before getting inside and then driving away. Taborn says his whole life was in that truck.
Pretty painful because it's just confirming that the fact that it wasn't an accident, like somebody was out there and they were going through my stuff and they were working hard to get what I had and what I earned, and that pretty much everything that I have. It really hurts people when you take their things and you steal from them.
Taborn says he hopes the person who stole his U-Haul will bring his belongings back. If you know anything that can help police find who this person is, take a look at your screen. That's SAPD's non-emergency number. You can call it with 210-207-7273.
Well, this morning, as the southern border braces for a potential surge of migrants after the end of Title 42, officials say they haven't yet seen that surge.
That's right. So, however, as ABC's Will Carr reports, northern cities are declaring states of emergency with asylum seekers being bussed in.
This morning, uncertainty and confusion at the border following the end of Title 42, the COVID-era policy allowing for swift expulsions at the border.
No mas.
Hearing of a large group of migrants at the border ready to claim asylum, we crossed into Matamoros, where 1,500 people are living in tents.
This is a massive campsite on this side of the river here in Mexico, and it is filled with people living in squalid conditions.
Some tents assembled with nothing more than tarps and tree branches, and there are piles and piles of trash. Across the river, there's razor wire and the National Guard. Most migrants tell us They're waiting to book an asylum interview on the CBP One app, but continue to have problems with the technology.
There is no internet going on this border town. Internet's very important, or you can't use the app.
Those who have made it across describe a terrifying path. We met Betty from Ecuador outside of a bus station in Brownsville. Carrying a blue bag with all of her documents, she crossed just before Title 42 was lifted. It's hard to get a visa in Ecuador, she tells me. I had to save my family's life and come here this way. But Friday, DHS officials saying the surge so far has not been as drastic as many predicted.
We did not see a substantial increase overnight or an influx at midnight.
Still, an estimated record 10,000 migrants crossing per day this week, 1,800 coming into El Paso on Thursday alone. Confusing matters, a federal judge in Florida on the eve of Title 42's end, blocking part of the White House's immigration policies from taking effect, now barring federal agencies from releasing migrants before they've been given a notice to appear in court. The White House blaming the last-minute litigation as a Republican stunt.
Instead of trying to deal with an issue or talking to the federal government how to deal with an issue, they actually sabotage what we're trying to do.
But many Republican and Democratic leaders nationwide calling on the administration for more support. New York City and Chicago declaring states of emergency as cities nationwide struggle to deal with the influxes of migrants.
That's ABC's Will Carr reporting. Now on KSAT.com, even before Title 42 was lifted, those seeking asylum have traveled here to catch buses or flights to join their families in the U.S. We spoke to several migrants at the San Antonio International Airport, as well as an immigration attorney who fear for them. You can read the latest on our homepage.
Time now, just about 9:40, 65 degrees out.
We want to take another look over at TransGuide. This is 90 at General McMullen. You can see that first responders actually have that lane blocked off. I don't know if this is the whole highway, but I'm not sure if it's eastbound or the westbound lane that is blocked off at this time. But if that is in your route this morning, you're going to want to avoid it. And that's just a lot of ponding happening on the highway, which is something we usually don't see in areas of San Antonio, but we did have a lot of rain overnight. Again, 90 in General McMullen. If that is in your route this morning, you're going to stay clear of that area.
All right, let's take a quick live look out at the Alamo City. Look at that. I mean, compared to what we saw this morning, it is calm and quiet out there now. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey for your full forecast in just a few moments.
Alrighty, welcome back. I'm showing you the big picture here across Texas because it's not just San Antonio and South Central Texas that got a lot of rain, but a good portion of Texas finally seeing some good rain because of two low pressure systems, honestly bringing flood watches all from the valley up toward the Red River. Here's a look at where those lows are, one competing up in parts of the Panhandle, the other one moving through South Texas as we speak. And I got to emphasize this, we are not done with the rain. Now today it does look like we're going to get a little bit of a break this afternoon, just a few passing showers here and there, but this big trough of low pressure over Baja California is going to be moving eastward towards South Central Texas by Monday. So on Monday, we have another chance for widespread heavy rain. When we were talking about those cumulative rainfall totals of 2 to 4 inches, to 6 inches. We were talking about a period of days. So today, though, many people did get 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But first, I want to show you the live radar. And I want to talk about an area that is currently experiencing some flooding, potentially life-threatening situation east of San Antonio toward Gonzales, Cuero, Victoria, Edna, and even in Lavaca County near Hallettsville. This is where we have a flash flood warning. Flash flood warning until 11 o'clock because the rain has been non-stop in this area, and it's been very heavy rain too. We are still seeing some moderate rain from New Braunfels down to Seguin, down to Lavernia and out to Schertz, but a lot of San Antonio entering a bit of a break from the rainfall here for at least the next couple of hours. Let's go ahead though and look at some of these rainfall totals, not only around San Antonio, but also in the area that is dealing with the flash flooding right now. You can see a bullseye here of rainfall We're going to go ahead and turn off the warning so that we can see this a little bit better. Anywhere you see this red color, that's where 5 inches of rain has fallen. That's why there is some flooding in those areas that are completely saturated. Look at all of this good rain we saw around San Antonio. Anywhere you see yellows, that is 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. For the north side, for the west side, for the south side, the southeast side and the east side saw about 1 inch to 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain. Very good rain regardless. To my friends out west who desperately need the rain as well, many areas saw 1 to 3 inches of rain from Medina down to Uvalde and Sabinal. Bandera, it was about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain there. Yeah, 1.5 inches of radar estimated rain. Even further out west, pardon me, toward Del Rio, we can see that there were pockets of 5 inches of rain near Lake Amistad, about 5 inches of rain just to the west of Brackettville as well, and 6 to 7 inches of rain down near Carrizo Springs. More rain is on the way, especially on Monday. But around San Antonio today, we are going to have a little bit of a break. Just a few scattered storms this afternoon. This is a look at noon. You can see that the heaviest of rain will be east, but a few isolated to widely scattered downpours possible. Coverage will be about 40%. And then as we head into Mother's Day tomorrow, not widespread rain, but about 40% coverage as well on Mother's Day, especially in the afternoon. Around San Antonio, afternoon showers and storms are entirely possible, about 30 to 40%. But for the remainder of the day today, seeing that rain continue to push to the east, 70 at noon, a few scattered storms, 40% coverage this afternoon, 78 degrees. Go out, enjoy your day. Just have the radar handy with you and be careful on the roads, which are still seeing some flooding from things like Salado Creek, Leon Creek, and spots is flooding as well. Otherwise, take a look at those rain chances, seeing them go back up by Monday. And then as we head into Thursday and Friday, that's when things will start to calm down for us. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. Go out, enjoy your time. Know that there are going to be a few downpours, but it's not going to be a washout. 80 degrees for the high with a few peaks of sunshine, east winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Putting it all together in the 7-day forecast, you know what? This rain is so good. It is hard to complain about this rain. I mean, the most rain we've seen since October of 2021. Yes, we need it. We need to stock up now before those summer months. I know Medina Lake is dry. I know that Canyon Lake is even down a little bit, but it is very good to see this amount of rain in San Antonio.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. 9:48, 66 degrees. And Sarah, we have a lot going on the roadways.
Yeah, so these are the swollen creeks that you were talking about, Sarah. This is Salado Creek at 35. This is the Splashtown exit on 35 between BAMC and AT&T. If you live in this area like I do, you know this is the area that always floods. And you can see 90 at Leon Creek. A lot of these are the swollen. These are the underpasses and the creeks, those swollen creeks that tend to flood. 90 at General McMullen. That is eastbound lanes completely blocked off by first responders. We're not sure. We believe that might be coming from Leon Creek as well.
It looks like that's more so drainage in the area being blocked off.
Because it is
those roads.
Yeah, Leon Creek is a little further west, but these are the creeks. These are the swollen creeks at Salado Creek again, and 90 at Leon Creek. So these are the areas that are prone to flooding, even though it's no longer, for the most part, having those heavy downpours in San Antonio. We're still dealing with those areas that are prone to flooding. You can head to KSAT.com for a full list of all those areas.
And of course, with all the rain, it could be good for the plants.
That's right. So if you ever wanted to grow your own garden but didn't know where to start, now's your chance. How a local nonprofit helping the community plant roots on the city's east side.
Good morning and welcome back. Keeping communities healthy through gardening and sustainability. It is what a nonprofit, Gardopia Gardens, aims to do.
You can also learn how to grow your own garden, compost, even start your own chicken cutbacks. And Gardopia's upcoming Food and Nature Education Conference is happening on May 20th. I went to the east side to check out the garden. Pollinator flowers, vegetables, fruit trees, and even chickens, all found in the heart of the east side on New Braunfels Avenue. Welcome to Gardopia Gardens. The nonprofit that's been around since 2015, working with the city of San Antonio, the garden was built for crime prevention through environmental design.
So instead of just fencing off a space or policing the problem away, we were engaging the community around healthy living, and that's how this sprouted up. And soon after, we continued to work with schools, churches, community centers, restaurants, residences, really trying to grow food everywhere and anywhere.
It's a safe place to learn about how to grow your own garden, hydroponic gardening, working in carpentry, or even how to use chickens in your garden. CEO Stephen Luck says during the pandemic, they started the Food and Nature Education Conference as a way to continue to connect with the community virtually and in person on the importance of growing your own food and sustainability.
A lot of people are disconnected from their food, they're disconnected from agriculture, and so we like to talk about how food and nature coming together in urban agriculture is a great way to create a more sustainable, healthy population.
At the conference, you can see many demonstrations throughout the day on how to effectively take advantage of your own green space, fight climate change, and the importance of building healthy communities.
There's just so many ecosystem services that these small gardens and micro farms and urban farms can provide. And what we want to advocate is for this to be everywhere in every neighborhood, no matter your economic background.
So come on out here to Gardopia Gardens on the city's east side on May 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for their third annual Food and Nature Education Conference. For how to sign up and register, to head to KSAT.com. I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. And Gardopia Gardens Food and Nature Education Conference is next Saturday, May 20th. They are one of our community partners. It starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 4 in the afternoon. It's at Gardopia Gardens. It's just on the east side off of New Braunfels. And tickets are $25 for in-person attendees, and the event is free if you watch online. For more on how to register, just head to KSAT.com.
All right, time now, 9:55, 65 degrees.
Hey, we have a birthday. Before we head to break, we want to wish Hannah Ross happy birthday. Max, how old is she turning?
She is turning 104. Hannah, happy birthday. Thank you so much for letting us share it with you. Celebrate accordingly. We'll be right back.
Well, this makes sense. With the rains, the molds have gone up. Molds are high today. Grass, pine are low. Here's a look at the radar right now. Heaviest rain falling east of San Antonio, although we are seeing some moderate rainfall for New Braunfels, Canyon Lake, and Seguin. A flash flood warning remains in effect for Karnes, DeWitt, Gonzales, and Lavaca counties until 11. We're also seeing some more redevelopment out to the west, although it is low redevelopment. We'll still carry about a 40 to 60% chance for the remainder of the day, so less coverage this afternoon. Go out and enjoy your day. Just be careful of those roads. Keep the radar handy. 78 for the high. Will fall into the 70s after sunset tonight. All right, looking ahead, less coverage tomorrow. There's only going to be about 40% scattered showers and storms, but additional rain is expected Monday, 70% coverage. So if you are wanting more rain, you didn't get as much as you wanted, Monday, you have another opportunity there. Then by Tuesday and Wednesday, less rain coverage, and Thursday and Friday, you'll be lucky if you see any rain. Highs return to the mid-80s.
Thank you, Sarah. And hey, even if it might not be pouring in your neighborhoods, remember those areas that tend to flood, stay away from them.
Salado Creek and Leon Creek.
Text to Seat starts right now.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at 5 starts right now.
We begin this evening with some aggravated assaults that happened overnight.
Yeah, the first one has to do with an argument that led to a man being stabbed. It happened on West Commerce Street last night, right before the storms hit. Police responding to Via Central Plaza on North Frio Street. When they arrived, they found a 43-year-old man with 2 stab wounds who said that he got those stab wounds during a fight. Luckily, they were non-life-threatening injuries, but SAPD says they still have not found the suspect who stabbed that man. Now, the second assault happened this morning on the east side over on Hedges Street. Officers responded to a 23-year-old man with a stab wound sitting on a front porch at an apartment complex. He told police he was out for a walk when someone jumped out of a nearby car and stabbed him. Police took him to the hospital but were unable to find the crime scene.
San Antonio firefighters were also busy overnight responding to some house fires. The first one, a vacant home in the 2300 block of East Houston Street, close to North New Braunfels Avenue. Crews say flames were coming from one side of the home, and they were able to get the fire under control and prevent it from further damaging that house. No injuries reported, and the cause is still under investigation. The other house fire, also on the east side, broke out just before 4:30 this morning, forcing those inside running for safety. Firefighters were called out to the 1400 block of Picardy Drive near Pletz County Park. That's close to Willowwood Boulevard. Crews arrived to find smoke coming from the back of the house. We're told they were able to quickly put out that fire. Firefighters say the cause is still under investigation, but they're looking at the possibility that it may have been sparked by a lightning hit for an AC unit. Well, rain or shine, the San Antonio Food Bank is making sure families are being fed. This morning, staffers and volunteers were on their posts for a curbside event. Families were able to drive up and have their groceries placed in their vehicles. Curbside service allows the food bank to assist their clients quickly and efficiently. Administrators say the organization's Fresh Track website allows families to receive what they need and then get back to handling other priorities in their lives.
Able to go and see what distributions are happening around their area, and with curbside specifically, they're able to pick a appointment basis, so it's a quick reservation and the max that they wait is 15 minutes.
Very efficient indeed. Anyone in need of services from the food bank encouraged to call the client services line or visit the website you see here on your screen, freshtrack.com. That's with TRAK.
Happening today, the Cygnets of San Antonio hosted the Regional Junior Olympics at the Josh David Natatorium. Teams from all over Texas competing in the synchronized swimming competition to earn a spot on the official Junior Olympics team to represent the U.S. The Cygnets specifically is the oldest synchronized swimming team in Texas. Today's competition had figure and routine events to see if the athletes are able to move forward to the Olympic team. Over 230 athletes participated from cities like Dallas and Austin. The two-day event will last until 3 o'clock tomorrow when the team events will be showcased.
When I tell people at school that I do artistic swimming, they're like, oh, that's easy. Like, you can just like touch the floor. And like, I'm like, no, you don't touch the floor. And you can't breathe for like almost most of the whole routine.
Yeah, it's not easy. Synchronized swimming definitely harder than it looks. If you're curious how the swimmers are able to hear the music underwater, they actually have speakers submerged in the pool so those swimmers can keep on track.
To the border now, U.S. Border Patrol agents warn that the end of Title 42 will lead to a migrant surge, as we've been reporting. This prediction coming from a new court filing by a senior Customs and Border Protection official. They project agents will encounter an average of 12 to 14,000 migrants a day. Border Patrol's daily in-custody average amounts to more than 23,000. Border Patrol's deputy chief says without new measures, more than 45,000 migrants could be in custody by the end of May. The court filing is part of an ongoing case involving the release of migrants from custody.
The U.S. Department of Transportation was hit by a data breach and is now working to secure and restore impacted systems. They confirmed the breach did not impact any transportation safety systems. A spokesperson says it involved certain administrative systems such as employee benefits processing. The department now working with the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency and other federal agencies to address that threat. No word yet on who might have caused that breach.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office is warning the U.S. could default on its debts in early June if the debt ceiling deadlock continues in Washington. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports the warning comes amid growing calls for the White House and congressional Republicans to strike a deal raising the debt limit to prevent an economic crisis.
With a possible U.S. debt default just weeks away, Republicans, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, are pushing for President Biden to cut trillions of dollars in federal spending before agreeing to increase the debt limit.
This is not a normal place for us to be, to have House Republicans hold our economy hostage.
But the president has called for a debt limit hike without any preconditions. A White House meeting between the president and congressional leaders on Tuesday ended without a deal, and a meeting scheduled for Friday was postponed.
I have not seen from there a seriousness of the White House
that they want to deal.
On Saturday, the president tweeting default is not an option, saying he thinks the talks are moving along.
There's real discussion about some changes, but we're not there yet.
Increasing the debt limit would allow the U.S. to continue paying its bills, and lawmakers are running out of time. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office is warning of a significant risk the government won't have enough money to pay its bills in the first 2 weeks of June. If that happens, as many as 66 million Americans may see their Social Security payments delayed. Federal workers and troops could go unpaid. Millions of jobs could be slashed, and borrowing costs could spike. Staffers are meeting through this weekend to try to make progress on a deal. Two potential areas of agreement on the budget talks include reforming permits for energy projects and clawing back unspent COVID relief funds. The president is expected to meet with the 4 leaders of Congress again early next week. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Still to come on the news at 5, the FDA voted to speed up the approval of a drug that can treat a life-threatening disease. How the opinions of parents whose kids suffer from that disease persuaded the FDA.
FDA advisors granted fast approval for an experimental gene therapy to combat muscle disease. The single-dose drug is called SRP-9001, and it treats muscular dystrophy. The problem is it's not clinically proven, and the FDA itself has some safety concerns over its use. However, during a 9-hour meeting, parents said their kids with muscular dystrophy who took the drug are able to walk longer. As of now, children who suffer with the disease lose their ability to walk by their teens. And because of the parent support, the advisors voted to push the drug on the market without clinical evidence, but the FDA is expected to make a final decision by the end of the month.
Take a live look outside on this Saturday evening. Much quieter compared to what we had early this morning. Adam Caskey.
Yeah, it was. And I have some good news to report. I love having good news. It's great to have good news. The aquifer up a little over 3 feet already today, and it's still rising. It's still responding to the recent rainfall. It's going to probably rise for another day or so. Pollen count, mold high at 1,700. That's always the side effect of rain. Grass pine on the low end. As we go through the evening hours, a stray shower popping up here and there, 20 to 30% chance, so pretty low odds. Green light for outdoor activities right now. We do anticipate more coverage of rain coming in the days ahead. We'll talk about Mother's Day and beyond and how much rain we got and where in just a bit.
Well, some of us got hammered by the storms last night. It was loud, it was bright. Check out some of this lightning footage we caught from some of our cameras on dash cam. This was over at Blanco and 410 this morning.
Yeah, and flooding also impacted lots of parts of San Antonio, like here on Old O'Connor and Lookout Road. This car was swept to the side of the road because of that high water. And according to city authorities, more than 7 calls were made last night for high water rescues throughout San Antonio. So let's get straight to Adam Caskey, who can break down those rain chances that might follow us into Mother's Day tomorrow.
Yeah, they will. I just don't expect it to be very widespread. And whatever develops from here on out is unlikely to be strong and severe. That's the other key. Yeah, it could drop some heavy rainfall and maybe it cause some additional flash flooding, but it's unlikely to be really impactful in terms of wind or hail. That's a very, very minimal threat. Take a look at our rain and storm chances. Tomorrow, 40% in the afternoon for Mother's Day, so scattered. Monday, up to 60%, so becoming widespread. That doesn't mean it's going to hit everybody, but just over half of our area should be affected on Monday. Then we start to see those storm chances taper off daily through the middle part of next week and become just about non-existent by next Thursday. Hey, check this out. This is some good news. Rainfall since midnight, 2.31 inches officially at the airport. Now, this is why I'm so excited. Okay, look how long it has been. This is almost unbelievable. It's been 577 days since we've had that much rain in one day. We're talking midnight to midnight in one day at the airport. 577 days. So yes, this is good. It is. Long wait. Some good water cooler talk there as you get back to work tomorrow. Or tomorrow, Monday, hopefully, for most of you.
Unless you're us.
Exactly. All right, St. Hedwig, or actually this is Adkins. Look at that, 2.25 inches. Now, this is, of course, a side effect. I-35 north at Somerset. This is what you don't want to do when you're out there. And this is in Yoakum, Texas, out east near Yorktown High School. And check that out, near the bridge, the water elevated. We still have elevated water. We're still getting the drainage, so low water crossings are likely to still have some elevated water, especially east of town where we saw the highest accumulations. You look at these red streaks, and that indicates over 4 inches of rain. So let's get a closer look here. Yorktown, 4 inches. Between Yorktown and Cuero, 5.1. Between Shiner and Cuero, 4.8. Smiley, 5.4. That's verified with rain gauges, because what we're looking at here is Doppler radar estimates. We don't have rain gauges everywhere, but dual pole data, a dual pole Doppler beam goes vertical and horizontal. It gives us a better, more accurate representation of rainfall estimates. And the yellow indicates at least 2 inches of rain, and that's a good portion of San Antonio and Bexar County, even some locally higher amounts, of course, as well. Now, this is the most drought-stricken part of our area, up into the hill country. Kerrville, radar estimates about 3.1, Mountain Home 1.5, City of Medina 1.8, Bandera 1.75. It's not going to bust the drought, but it's going to put a good dent in it. Here's the big bullseye. Between Eagle Pass and Crystal City, Eagle Pass and Carrizo Springs, 6 to 7 inches of rain estimated by Doppler radar. Looking at the radar right now, just a few sprinkles out there trying to pop up off to the east. If we could have squeezed in a little more sunshine to destabilize us, we could have had more showers this afternoon, but it just didn't happen. I anticipate a little more activity tomorrow. There's still more action across the state because we have an active pattern. This upper level trough, that dip over the Baja Peninsula, that's just throwing energy our way, and I do think we'll realize that energy into some scattered showers and storms tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And it's a stalled pattern, blocking high pressure system. It's a very unique pattern, to be honest with you. Blocking high over the southern U.S., basically over Mississippi, and that's just basically preventing that energy from getting away from us. It just keeps getting thrown overhead, and it doesn't, our pattern doesn't change. It's blocked in this position until the middle part of next week. So that's why we still have those storm chances. Temperature 76 right now with the clouds. Dew point is 64, not overly humid. We start the day tomorrow at 66. Mostly cloudy, a 20% chance of a shower or two in the morning. By noon, a few breaks in the clouds, and the more breaks we see, the higher our thunderstorm potential into the afternoon. 40% is what we have it, so scattered by 5 p.m. and on into the afternoon. 81 degrees the high temperature tomorrow. We go ahead as those storm chances drop off. Temperatures rise, but only mid-80s next week. We can handle that. That's nothing.
We can definitely handle mid-80s. Thank you, Adam.
All right, Andrew, the Cowboys rookies are already getting after it.
That's right. We're coming back talking about Mazi Smith, the Cowboys' 26th overall selection, and he wants to approach things the same way life has been for him recently, fast and furious. We'll hear from him. Plus, San Antonio is welcoming home a state champion in shot put. Got that too next.
I spent the majority of the time after the draft just trying to move up and pack everything up, driving the U-Haul around, making sure I'm on the Zooms with the team, making sure I'm getting everything in the meetings and just doing what I can.
Life as a first-round draft pick goes fast and furious in big board sports.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Coincidentally, fast and furious is also how Mazi Smith wants to approach his time with the Cowboys. Dallas selected the Michigan defensive tackle with the 26th overall pick of this year's NFL draft, mainly for his size and speed. But it might surprise you that he only posted 1/2 of a sack in his entire college career with the Wolverines. With Michigan, Smith was primarily a run stopper, and a darn good one at that. Whatever pass rush he brought to the table came organically from that mindset. Now, under defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, he hopes to unlock that pass rush element, and the rookie has high standards for his time here in Big D.
I just got an expectation of who I am as a person, who I've been at every level of football that I've been a part of so far, and I just want to reach that same standard and continue to be a great player. They drafted me high, and I don't want to let them down.
Head coach Mike McCarthy missed the start of rookie minicamp with a back procedure he had last week. He's been conducting meetings virtually with Dan Quinn taking charge in person. Meanwhile, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott will return to the field soon enough. He hosted a gala yesterday for his Faith, Fight, Finish Foundation, and he was asked his thoughts about the incoming rookie class.
I'm excited. Obviously, the team that we have, we're a young team, and we're going to need these young players to come in. So excited for them just to get in, see what we're doing, see the culture that we're building, and we're going to need them. So ready to get there Monday and see what I can do, maybe start throwing with some of these guys, starting to work with the young tight end. It's going to be cool.
Dak and the rest of the Cowboys will hit the ground running for OTAs on May 22nd. The Houston Texans are getting their two first-round draft picks ready to go with their own rookie minicamp. But more importantly, this is DeMeco Ryans' first time on the field acting as head coach. What's it like?
Exciting to get out on the field and actually get on the grass and work with guys. That's where, I thrive. But now being a head coach, I have to learn how to step back a little bit and let the assistants do most of the hands-on work. And if I see a point or two I need to, implement, I'll step in when I need to. But our assistants, man, they've done it's awesome for me just to get out and see them work, see the energy that they bring to practice.
The Texans moved up in the draft to select Alabama defensive end Will Anderson Jr. 3rd overall, and he has plenty of expectations to live up to. Regardless of his draft position, he's finally made it to the NFL. Has the reality of that dawned on him yet?
Yeah, it hit me, but I haven't arrived yet. I just got here. I haven't did anything yet. I got to earn it. I got to go out there and, get the trust from the guys, keep connecting with them and just, paying attention to everything that I'm doing and working hard. So, yeah, I'm here, but I haven't arrived to where I want to be at yet.
Texans rookie minicamp will continue through tomorrow. The city of San Antonio is hosting the inaugural XFL championship game tonight in the Alamo Dome, and unfortunately, the Brahmas won't be there. Instead, the South Division champion Arlington Renegades will represent Texas and go head-to-head with the top-seeded DC Defenders. Renegades head coach Bob Stoops knows his club will have their work cut out for them.
Coach Barlow does an awesome job, and his staff, they have done a great job all year. Got by far and away the best record, being 10-1. It's pretty special. So, excited for this opportunity. So, I think the league has really been great to everybody, and we're excited to be, here representing the South in this championship game.
Here's a glimpse of the trophy. Kickoff between the Renegades and Defenders is tonight at 7 p.m. You can watch it live right here on KSAT 12. Tonight, the Smithson Valley girls track and field team made history, earning their first Class 5A state team title. Sophomore Alyssa Jones was the star of the show, winning the 200-meter dash and contributing to a pair of gold medal finishes in the 4x200 and 4x400 meter relays. The Rangers as a team posted 62 total points, 14 more than the second-place team. You can find more results from Friday's action right now on the BGC page at KSAT.com. Today on the track, after a lengthy weather delay, East Central senior Michael Pinones ended his high school career on top of the podium. After a silver medal finish last season, Pinones won the Class 6A shot put with his final throw of 65 feet 11 and a half inches. In the Class 6A boys high jump competition, Brennan senior Armando Acevedo cleared the bar at 6 feet 10 inches to secure the silver medal, and his teammate Kayla Lyons is also bringing home silver in the 800-meter run. We'll have full results from today's action tonight on the Night Beat. Weather continues to wreak havoc on UTSA's baseball schedule. The Roadrunners postponed their series finale against Dallas Baptist to tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. UTSA dropped both games against the Patriots yesterday, and they're going to try to avoid a sweep. Tonight, San Antonio FC has a chance to earn back-to-back wins for the first time in over a month. They've got a tough matchup tonight, though, against the best team in the Eastern Conference, the Charleston Battery, on the road. It's been a rough start to the season in terms of results, but San Antonio head coach Alan Marcina thinks his team will be just fine.
We trust in the process. We've been dominating opponents in terms of shots taken, shots on target. Our pressing actions are number one in the league. We're second in the league for fewest goals conceded. Second in the league for most shots taken. So all in all, that's a pretty good place. And of course, we want to turn some of those draws into wins. We know that, but that's, there's no magic wand just to do it. It's continue to do the right things as we've been doing, and then the results will come. And the good thing is we're going to have a lot of players also coming back.
One more note tonight at the Night Beat. We've got 5 new inductees into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. We'll hear from all of them on the Night Beat.
Ooh, that'll be good to hear.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you, Andrew.
You got it.
Be right back. Finally, at 5, a South Florida jury finds McDonald's liable for allegedly causing second-degree burns to a child because of the temperature of their chicken nuggets. This week, the jury found McDonald's and the franchise owner liable for failing to warn or properly instruct on the possible harm from hot McNuggets. The suit was actually filed back in 2019. Falana Holmes was in a drive-thru and bought chicken McNuggets for her 4-year-old daughter. When they fell, they got caught between the child's leg and the car seat and allegedly caused burns and disfigurement to her thighs. McDonald's disagrees with that verdict. I feel like we've done this before, but with coffee.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have.
All right, tomorrow afternoon we'll have a 40% chance, so some scattered showers and storms. Otherwise, a fairly cloudy day, 81. Monday, little more widespread coverage of some showers and storms. We're not really expecting anything severe, just some downpours here and there. And then the rain chances taper off into next week. Temperatures warm up, but mid-80s, that's nothing. That's average for this time of year.
Thanks, Adam. We'll see you back here for the Night Beat after the XFL Championship.
Have a good evening. One person is dead tonight. Police say another admitted to pulling the trigger and is currently with investigators.
The night team's Camelia Juarez joins us live from the 7-Eleven at 410 in Nacogdoches, where police are now conducting a murder investigation.
Tim, Courtney, San Antonio police have taped off this entire gas station so far. We know that one person was shot and killed inside of that car wash. San Antonio police say they got a call around 7:30 for a shooting. 2 people were inside the car wash, and police say one person fired a single shot. Police say the shooter got out of the car and told someone inside the gas station. The shooter claims self-defense, but homicide detectives are still investigating. The suspect was taken to police headquarters for further questioning. Now, the suspect was between 20 and 30 years old, and the victim was in their 30s or 40s. When we learn more, we'll let you know on air and online. Reporting live on the northeast side, Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
New on the Night Beat, the state's largest refugee resettlement agency says it can no longer take on new clients. Refugee Services of Texas will continue to help its existing clients, but say recent refugee surges have eaten up their budget.
Now, while the pause is temporary, Camelia Juarez tells us what this means for refugees across the state going forward.
When the team, they took us there, we were hugging each other, and we were so happy. And as I said, I was about to cry.
Hamad Sarosh and his wife fled Afghanistan last year. And after 6 months of moving around, Refugee Services of Texas helped Sarosh settle into his own apartment.
And finally, I was saying, okay, I'm in my new home.
Sarosh and his wife were given medical care, cultural education, and even a job.
The position I work, the environment which I work, I love it.
Refugee Services of Texas will continue to serve its 1,300 clients, including Sarosh. But due to a recently depleted budget, for the next 4 months, the agency will have to refer new refugees to national organizations.
We just need all hands on deck right now to be able to close this gap.
Chris Kelly with Refugee Services of Texas is talking about the $4 million the agency hopes to raise. He says under former President Trump's administration, fewer refugees were entering the U.S. and needing services. But the agency became overwhelmed following the evacuation of Afghanistan and the Russian invasion on Ukraine. The number of people in need rose quickly.
It was a chaotic evacuation, and our job was to resettle as many of those folks as we could in a very short period.
To save money, the agency is reducing its staff by 45% and closing offices in Fort Worth and Houston, a decision that Kelly says is heartbreaking because the staff members work and live where the refugees live.
There are people, they can't speak English, they don't understand the GPS. That's why I'm saying they need agencies like RST to support them.
Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
New on the Night Beat, the body of a man was discovered in a creek along San Pedro Avenue earlier this evening. San Antonio police officers and a helicopter making that discovery in the 5900 block of San Pedro as they were searching for a missing person. Officers at the scene say the body is that of a man possibly in his 20s or 30s. They tell us it's unclear right now how that man died, but say it appeared that he had some trauma to his body. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office trying to identify that man. Police say there are several homeless encampments under that bridge in the area further up the creek, and they say due to last night's storms, the water levels there were noticeably high.
Also new on the Night Beat, a diesel leak is being monitored near the water treatment plant in the city of Kerrville. According to a statement released by the city public information officer, the leak was detected at a business upstream of the water plant. The statement says Friday's storms caused damage that led to the leak. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has been notified. Kerrville city officials say the appropriate precautions have been taken and the city switched water to the groundwater wells. The city will remain on groundwater wells until the water plant comes back on, which is expected to happen sometime next week.
It is high time for graduation season for high school students and college students. And for one Texas State student, this year brought more hardship than she could have ever imagined.
Yeah, she tells the night team's Lee Waldman she couldn't have gone through it without an angel by her side.
There's a palpable excitement in the air at Texas State University as hundreds of almost graduates eagerly await for their names to be called to get their diplomas they've worked so hard for.
So everybody, you can get through this year. There's nothing stopping you, nothing at all.
For the entire Mata family, they've just been getting through the year since they lost Tess last May.
I know she had a really hard morning this morning getting out of bed, so it was really hard not having her sister here.
Tess's picture filled her chair instead. The 10-year-old was killed nearly 1 year ago at Robb Elementary. Veronica and her husband Jerry holding on to one another as they watched Faith be recognized for graduating college and making it through the unimaginable.
It's just a long time. I'm glad that it's finally happened, and I'm proud of her. I know it took a lot out of her, so I'm very proud of her.
From Faith's cap to her tassel and stole, you can see pieces of little Tess everywhere and feel her in the excitement of this moment. Her extended family, the loved ones of some of the other 21 victims, there to cheer Faith on as she jumped into the river, holding Tess's photo.
It feels bittersweet. I'm glad that I could be here with all the people who were part of my journey. Though I'm missing Tess, it sucks, but I'm ready to jump into the future now.
Her little sister visiting Faith in a dream, letting her know she's always there.
I just feel comforted. I just know. I just feel her all the time.
Faith, again, we're all so incredibly proud of your accomplishment. Keep on shining. Faith has really big plans for the future, plans that were shaped in part by what her and her family went through in this last year. We'll have more on that story and more tributes to those victims and survivors of the Robb tragedy on May 24th at 9 p.m. in an hour-long KSAT 12 News special we're calling 1 Year In. Uvalde, back to you.
Thank you, Lee. I want to get you some breaking news right now. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office is working a fatal accident over on the northwest side in the 7,000 block of Northwest Loop 410 near Highway 151. Right now, details pretty limited.
Yeah, but deputies say the traffic on the westbound lanes of the underpass of 151 and the southbound lanes of the frontage road at 410, both being diverted onto the frontage road at 151. Deputies are advising drivers to avoid that area if at all possible. We have a crew on the way to the scene, and we will update you on the developing story as we get more information.
Staffers and volunteers with the San Antonio Food Bank going the extra mile today, offering clients curbside service. Families were able to drive right up and have groceries placed into their vehicles. The curbside service allows the food bank to assist their clients quickly and efficiently. Inflation and changes in SNAP benefits have more people utilizing the resources offered by the food bank.
Well, back to Uvalde in the midst.
There's been a high need right now with their benefits being lowered, and a lot of them it's lower than usual, and we just need that help to get by right now, and it has been an influx.
Family members and authorities along the Texas Gulf Coast confirm one person is dead after an F1 tornado touched down early Saturday morning. The man's name was Roberto Flores, who died when a nearby trailer was lifted during the storm and crushed his mobile home in Laguna Heights. The damage you currently see is near Port Isabel, where weather authorities say it's rare to see tornadoes. Officials say 11 people were taken to hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries due to the tornado. At least 36 people are currently staying in emergency shelters as they deal with the storm damage to their homes.
And looking at live cam, we have increasing clouds out there again. A little bit of clearing out there earlier, increasing clouds, some energy coming in from the south, and that'll give us, I think, a great start to the day tomorrow. We have some good news, though. The aquifer is up, and it continues to climb. It's already up just over 3 feet, and it still rising continually. It's going to respond to this heavy rainfall probably for another day, maybe even two. As for the pollen count, mold is high at 1,700. That's usually a side effect of some heavy rainfall. Grass and pine, both on the low end. As we go through the rest of the night, it's going to be quiet out there. No big deal, just quiet weather. And then it's going to pick up a little bit again as we get into tomorrow. We'll talk about our storm chances, the unique weather pattern that we're in, and when temperatures rebound more in just a bit.
Coming up, frustrated parents at their wits' end because of the lack of available daycare spots. How an initiative spearheaded by Pre-KSA is helping alleviate so-called childcare deserts here in San Antonio. Plus, the owner of this Mexican restaurant not too happy to see KSAT investigates this week what health inspectors found behind their kitchen door.
It was predicted that the end of Title 42 would bring a wave of migrants, but so far that hasn't materialized. Government officials now dealing with new immigration policies as asylum seekers continue trying to enter the U.S.
Many people predicted a surge of migrants at the southern U.S. border as Title 42 came to an end earlier this week.
But the Biden administration says that surge has not been as dramatic as some expected. ABC's Phil Lipoff with what asylum seekers arriving at the U.S. border will now face that the new immigration policies are in effect.
Title 42, the Trump-era health policy that allowed for the quick removal of migrants from the U.S., came to an end earlier this week. Many feared there would be a surge of migrants at the border, but on Friday, the Biden administration says so far that surge has not been as dramatic as some predicted.
We did not see a substantial increase overnight or an influx at midnight.
A new immigration policy now requires non-Mexican migrants to first apply for and be denied asylum in another country. Migrants will have to make an appointment on the CBP One app, but many are having problems with the technology.
There is no internet going on this border town. Internet's very important or you can't use the app, and no one ever talks about that fact.
If the new immigration rules are not followed, migrants could be removed and not allowed to enter the U.S. for at least 5 years.
The purpose of what we're doing now is making legal immigration more streamlined and moving in a direction that people know that there's a legal way to get here and not a legal way.
Meantime, border cities continue to feel the pressure. An estimated record 10,000 migrants crossed per day this week, 1,800 coming into El Paso, Texas on Thursday alone.
We know that we still need to prepare for the unknown.
But the challenges are not limited to border cities. This bus carrying migrants arrived in Manhattan on Friday. New York City and Chicago declaring states of emergencies as cities across the country struggle to deal with the influx of migrants. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
Well, we've got a bit of a quiet night finally after all of the drama that we had overnight, but at least it brought so much rain, Adam.
Some much needed rainfall and something we haven't seen in quite some time, in over 500 days. Wow. We're going to get to that in just a moment.
Crazy.
First, quick look at our weather headlines here. And going forward, we're going to have more scattered storm chances. This is a very unique, unsettled weather pattern that we're in, along with temperatures that are running below average and then just right near average once they finally rise again into next week. All right, let's take a look at our rainfall chances going forward. And we do have more opportunities. So if you missed out, we've got 40% tomorrow afternoon. We boost that to 60% on Monday. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be at 60% all day long. Just for periods of the day, we'll see some decent coverage. Tuesday back to 40%, and then we see those storm chances dwindle as we go on into next week. All right, 2.31 inches of rain today at the airport. That is the first time in 577 days we've had that much rain between midnight and midnight. So in a calendar day, this is the highest one-day rain total since October 13th. 2021. That's beautiful. As for actual accumulations, you look across our area, some of the most drought-stricken parts of Texas here in the Hill Country. And by the way, next half hour, I'm going to show you the drought monitor along with the radar across it and where the rain passed over the drought-stricken areas. But Kerrville, 1.87. These are actual rain gauge measurements, not Doppler radar estimates. Vanderpool, just under 2 inches. Garner State Park, 3 inches, actually 3.03. Spring Branch, 2.09. Castroville, over 2 inches. Let's go farther to the east. Lavaca River here. This is one of the stream gauges in southeastern Lavaca County, and that's at 4.26 inches between yesterday and today. And a lot of that really was just today. Smiley, over 6 inches measured in Smiley. Very impressive. Now, it's a unique pattern that we're in right now. It's one we don't see very often around here. One little swirl out in the Gulf of Mexico. This little swirl starting to throw some energy and rain, but that's ending up right near Houston and Galveston. And there are some indications this could creep into some of our eastern counties. And then we also have a few other swirls, one up in the Panhandle causing some showers there, actually another in the Four Corners region, and then one over the Baja Peninsula. It's like these are all stacked up around the western U.S., Texas, and Mexico. It's because of this blocking high here that's over Louisiana and Mississippi. This blocking high, Big Blue H, is just preventing anything from moving. It's a roadblock in the atmosphere, and it's going to stick around. And these random little disturbances are swirling around. They're tough to pinpoint and really figure out exactly where they're going to develop those showers, but they still give us those chances, and at times elevated chances in the days ahead. So here's a look at today. 64 in the morning, 78 for our high temperature. Back to running below average, 78 the high. The average is 86. We'll be there again, I think, by the middle part of the upcoming week. Right now we're at 71, dew point is 65, not a breeze out there. 72 in Carrizo Springs, 64 in Kerrville, a beautiful evening, feels good outside. A little break in the humidity. It's not the oppressive mugginess that we had over the previous days. It's not dew points in the 70s. Instead, dew points are in the 60s, where it's muggy, but tolerable, right? 66 in the morning tomorrow, mainly gray, the off chance of a brief shower or two, 20%. By the noon hour, I think a few breaks in the clouds, which if we see more sun, the more sun you see, let's put it that way, the more sun you get in your area, the higher your storm chances are into the afternoon, because it's going to destabilize you a little bit more. So we're giving it that 40%, just some scattered activity in the afternoon. 81 the high temperature. That's here in San Antonio, and for the most part, we'll be in the lower 80s, about 83 in Floresville. Looking ahead, Monday, 77. We boosted those rain chances, so temperature goes down a little bit. By Tuesday, we're at 80 degrees, and then next week, mid-80s. So really nothing outrageous in terms of temperatures. We can handle that, right? Mid-80s, that's easy for this time of year.
Mother's Day is not canceled, people. You still got to get it together, not just because a little bit of rain.
We'll survive. All right, the rookies have made it to the Star in Frisco. Andrew?
That's right, and Mike McCarthy has not. He's still dealing with a back procedure he had last week, so who takes over in his stead? Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. We come back, we'll get Quinn's thoughts on what he's seeing from the young rooks. Plus, 5 new members were inducted into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame today. We'll hear from them as well next.
This month of onboarding, indoctrinating, however you want to say it, is such an important time, but it keeps me young.
Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn loves this part of the year in big board sports. But first, this evening we welcome 5 new members to the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame. The class of 2023 was officially inducted and celebrated at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. The list of inductees includes 2016 PGA champion Jimmy Walker, who graduated from New Braunfels Canyon, USA track and field Olympic coach Rose Monday, who has ties to UTSA, former Spurs and UTSA guard Devin Brown, who was the first Roadrunner to record a triple-double and have his jersey number retired, former Churchill High School volleyball coach Wanda Bingham, and 4-time college tennis champion and Trinity University tennis coach Emily Burr Foster.
So unbelievable for me to have all these ex-students here. My whole family is here. It's just unbelievable. It's like a dream come true.
A little shy of the attention. You know, when you're out there at the Olympics, you're doing what we do as coaching, but you know, being here, it's really an honor.
I grew up here, and all of the tennis skills that I learned right here in San Antonio. And a lot of these people played a role in that. And I'm just grateful for their support then and their continued support now.
This is what it's all about. You know, as they get older and start hearing Dad's name being mentioned with sports, gives them some sort of idea of what Dad did.
Another memory that will last a lifetime. Proceeds from the gala went to benefit the San Antonio Sports Youth and Community Programs.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Today marks the only day that the Cowboys spend on the field at the Star in Frisco for rookie minicamp, and head coach Mike McCarthy wasn't there. He's still recovering from a back procedure he underwent last week. McCarthy has still been involved with meetings, though, via Zoom calls. But in the meantime, defensive coordinator Dan Quinn took charge and addressed the rookies alongside Jerry Jones to start practice today. Make no mistake, McCarthy's vision for this team still flows through Quinn and the rest of the coaching staff this week. Practices are limited to non-contract drills, though. So what do the coaches want to see from the rookies over the weekend?
Learning the system, number one, and then what we can do is look at the movements, and we can try to do specific drills to help, on your read to where to go, but without, going against one another. We won't get as much of that, but you can certainly simulate drills and certain techniques, and so that's what you do. You've seen the guys on the sled and how to work things, so it's more about how we do things here. I had told the guys all across the league over the last 2 weeks, every team has put in cover three. It's not what we do, it's how we play it.
There are no pads during these practices either, but there are helmets, and the rookies notice that there's something very specific missing from the side.
It's missing the star, but I'm okay with it. I'm gonna earn it. That's what I want to do. So I actually wanted that. I want to be able to earn that star. I want to be able to, know that the vets trust me, and with that. So whatever I got to do to get that star on my helmet, that's what I'm gonna do.
Rookie minicamp continues through the 15th. The Houston Texans are finally getting a glimpse of what third overall pick Will Anderson Jr. can bring to the table at their own rookie minicamp. First impressions are important. What was the main message that the Alabama product has heard in the facility?
Being intentional, swarming to the ball, having that special, relentless mindset, stuff like that. And, just being a part of the team and being family and being together. That's the biggest message that, he's been trying to express to the team. And it's been kind of easy for me to grasp that. And that's why I'm super excited to be a part of this team.
Coming up later in sports, we head back to Austin to recap the final day of state track and field. 2 state champs coming back, plus a lot of medalists, guys.
We'll look forward to it. Thank you, Andrew.
You got it.
I just wanted to follow up. You guys had problems with rodents still. Do you know if that's been dealt with?
Right after this break, I dropped by a Thai restaurant that's been dealing with a rodent problem. The good news they shared with me this week when I go behind the kitchen door.
A supermarket racked up numerous health code violations and a low score during a recent inspection.
While a Thai restaurant continued dealing with a rodent problem, just a few of the things I discovered this week when I went behind the kitchen door. The Poco Loco Supermercado in the 3400 block of Nogalitos earned a 73 on their recent inspection. There was mold on corn tortilla chips and moldy cucumbers in a walk-in cooler. Pork lard stored on shelves needed to be refrigerated. It was also past the expiration date. A leak at the mop sink was causing water to pool on the floor. A re-inspection was ordered. Long John Silver's in the 5400 block of Walsham got an 84. There was a mold-like substance growing on a sauce jar and a cooler. The ice machine had a buildup of dirt and debris inside and out, and there was hair in there too. A cooler was too warm. The area around the frying equipment needed a good cleaning, and so did the fans, vents, and walls. Salsa's Mexican restaurant in the 5900 block of Rittiman earned an 85. Not bad, but the owner sure didn't want us telling you about it. He tried to block our camera. They earned deductions for improperly storing food. There was a pink mold-like growth in the ice machine, and the soda nozzles were contaminated with dirt and debris that needed to be cleaned. A dead roach was in the kitchen, and beans and eggs were found stored on the floor. The owner said he's made the corrections and hired pest control. Finally, we revisit Yaya's Thai restaurant on McCullough. Last year, they got a 76 and were dealing with a rodent problem. This time around, they improved to an 81, but mice were still getting inside. Hello. I stopped by this week to see if they've made any progress.
You guys had problems with rodents still. Do you know if that's been dealt with?
This manager agreed to talk even though she was dealing with a voice problem. She showed me they hired pest control and got good news last week.
Friday. They were back here on Friday and they gave you the all cleared?
Everything clear.
Okay.
She explained the building is very old and they've tried to get the owner to make repairs to keep pests out.
We already report to the owner of the building, but they don't
They hope customers understand they're doing all they can. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
In news across America, a Cleveland EMT who disappeared last weekend limped into a convenience store Friday, telling the clerk she'd escaped from the people who kidnapped her. Surveillance video shows Lachelle Jordan entering that store barefoot and in torn clothes 3 miles from where she was last seen. Her family says she disappeared last weekend after stepping out of her home to get something from her car. Her family says she'd been hospitalized for trauma and injuries, but say they're grateful for the efforts law enforcement and others used to help rescue her.
When I first stepped up to something like this, I had one small request, and that was to bring my daughter home safely. And through the support of law enforcement, media, EMS, community, and everybody that wanted to be somebody, that request was granted.
Jordan's alleged kidnapping took place days before she was scheduled to testify in a rape and kidnapping case. Investigators still say it's unclear whether the incident is connected with that upcoming testimony.
To New York now, where more than $1 million has been collected to pay for a defense of a Marine veteran charged in the death of a homeless man. That's how much the online site Give, Send, Go has collected for Daniel Perry as of today. More than 8,000 people have donated to the site. Perry appearing in court yesterday and was officially charged with second-degree manslaughter in the death of Jordan Neely on a subway train earlier this month. Passengers said Neely was acting erratic. Perry restrained Neely with a chokehold, and Neely later died. Perry's lawyers say they are confident their client will be cleared of any wrongdoing.
The woman in South Carolina accused of killing a bride in a DWI crash on her wedding day last month reportedly had a blood alcohol content that was over 3 times the legal limit. That's according to toxicology records recently released to law enforcement. They say 25-year-old Jamie Komorowski was driving 65 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone when she drove her car into a golf cart carrying the newly married couple. The bride, 34-year-old Samantha Hutchinson, died of blunt force injuries. Her husband and 2 others were also injured in the crash. Komorowski is charged with 1 count of reckless homicide and 3 counts of felony DUI resulting in great bodily harm. Turning to world headlines now, a ceasefire has been declared in the current fighting between Israel and Palestine. That ceasefire to begin today after a 5-day conflict. Israeli airstrikes were aimed at what it called Palestinian Islamic Jihad commanders and infrastructure. 1,200 rockets were then launched from Gaza towards Israel.
Today, Pope Francis held a historic meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the Vatican. In a statement released by the Vatican press office, the Pope stressed an urgent need for human gestures towards the most fragile and innocent victims of the ongoing war in Ukraine. Zelensky and the Pope discussed the humanitarian and political effects of the conflict. The Vatican stated, quote, "The Pope has assured his constant prayer," unquote.
Still ahead, the struggle to find the daycare has the city agency looking to establish partnerships with child care professionals. Which agency is taking the lead to tackle this and what they're doing?
If you ask any number of parents, childcare deserts are a real thing, causing real headaches when it comes to finding available spots at facilities close to their homes and their jobs.
It definitely is. One location identified as a childcare desert is the south side of Bexar County. And the Night Team's Camelia Juarez tells us Pre-K for SA is trying to help parents by fostering a relationship with other childcare providers.
Samantha Bermea wants to make sure her 1-year-old will have a clean and educational experience when she drops her off at daycare. But she says there are few options on the south side.
Close to my home, I've really never seen much of childcare.
The nonprofit Children at Risk found several zip codes in Bexar County have less than 5 childcare facilities for every 100 children.
It's a problem. Especially if you don't have the transportation to travel to high quality places.
To alleviate the Southside's childcare desert, Pre-K for SA is moving its childcare center on New Braunfels to Southeast Loop 410.
What we saw during the pandemic is that became an even more acute crisis, and we lost 20% of our providers in Bexar County.
Pre-K for SA is helping existing childcare centers find sustainable business models while improving the care they provide. It's called the Shared Service Alliance. The alliance provides CDA childcare training and a $1,500 incentive for teachers to stay after receiving that certification.
So that's a big incentive to have teachers stay and receive their credential. Those are some of the biggest pluses for me.
For mothers like Bermea, trained staff means a better experience for her growing daughter.
I want my daughter to learn. I want her to reach different milestones. It's not just, for work, it's, for herself.
Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Here's our live cam, taking a peek over the airport and 410 there. 410, we're looking basically westward, off to the northwest at the moment. Temperature 68 degrees. We're only going to fall off a few more degrees as we go through the night. I want to give you a little update on our rainfall at San Antonio International Airport. That's where it's officially measured. That's our official climate site. So that's what we have to go by for the official records in town. Since May 1st now, we've had 2.78 inches, most of that coming very early this morning. That's over an inch above average. And when you look at the year as a whole, we're finally above average. Since January 1st, we've had 10.7 inches of precipitation, and that's just over a half inch above average. It's nice to see this. We have more storm chances in the forecast to talk about. We'll get to that in a little bit, along with radar estimates, the drought monitor, and where the rain fell, where it's needed in just a bit.
Adam Caskey here late into the morning hours of Saturday. I know this because my wife and I were watching on the KSAT Weather Authority app in the garage as those storms went by. I won't tell you what we were drinking while we were watching that.
No, I'm curious.
He was off work. He was off work.
Was it light or was it regular, I guess? I don't know. Oh, it was light. Okay. That's all I need to know.
It was late.
I was sleeping. Sorry.
But we were there in spirit. We were supporting.
In spirit, you heard him.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But I do love that we can connect live to you straight on the Weather Authority app. You can be out and about, you can be mobile, and it's us coming to you straight from the Weather Center. All right, let's take a look at some of the aftermath of the rainfall, the heavy rainfall that we had. This was pinned in earlier this morning on KSAT Connect, I-35 north at Somerset. We also have the Main Street Bridge in Yorktown, right near Yorktown High School. You know the water's high because you can see the street lights in the middle there. There's, or park lights, I guess, could be one or the other. Either way, usually it's illuminating the ground and not water. And then this is interesting. We just got this in Falls City. Been a while since I've seen the creek at the farm this high in Falls City. And I really like that vantage point because, you landowners, your land better than anybody. And you get those little benchmarks and those comparisons that stay in your mind, and you can compare all these different rain events. And it's fun to go out and check, just to see where the water is and where it is compared to normal or compared to our drought. And speaking of drought, no drought in Falls City. No drought farther to the east of San Antonio along the coastal plain from Gonzales all the way down to about Poth, Kennedy, Karnes City, Beeville, Victoria. No drought. But once you get into San Antonio and especially up into the hill country, it's a different story. That's where we still have the extreme and exceptional drought. Now, keep in mind, this does not take into account the rainfall we had last night and this morning. The next drought monitor issued on Thursday will take into account this rain. And good rain it was to put a dent in the drought and maintain a lack of drought along the coastal plain. That's what I like to call the maintenance rain. So we had some maintenance rain off to the east, a little too much of a good thing in spots, and then drought denting rain in the hill country and even San Antonio. So it was nice to see that. And I expect some good improvements in the next drought monitor. You look at the rainfall estimated by Doppler radar, and off to the east, these red pockets are a minimum of 4 inches. So Smiley, 5.4 estimated by the radar, even higher amounts actually measured by rain gauges. Hallettsville about 2.8, Shiner 3.4, Cuero 2.8 inches, Yorktown about 4 inches, and a lot of that came in a short amount of time. You get locally, and the yellow indicates 2 inches and above. So widespread across San Antonio, 2 to 3 inches of rainfall fell. That was good to see. And then in the really drought-stricken area I showed you, Kerrville 3.1, Medina 1.8, Comfort 1.4, and that was estimated. This is a unique weather pattern we're in. We've got a blocking high over Mississippi and Alabama, and then these little disturbances here that keep getting thrown our way from the main disturbance over the Baja Peninsula, and they're hard to time out and exactly place, and the guidance has a difficult time on exactly placing these and then figuring out where they're going to move. But this high is stalling the pattern and putting a little roadblock in. Some scattered showers and storms tomorrow afternoon will give it 40% chance. Monday we're up to 60, not at all times during the day, but especially parts of the day and into the afternoon. Tuesday 40%, then we see those storm chances fall off again into next week. So we'll start tomorrow at 66. By the afternoon, we're at 81, mostly cloudy, with that 40% chance later on in the day, particularly. And then high temperatures in the mid-80s next week, and that's average for this time of year. So back to average.
That's always nice. Average is good.
It's okay to be average every now and then.
It is.
I think it's great.
I agree.
Andrew is nothing but average, and neither are any of the track champions he's about to tell us.
Did you just say nothing but average?
I said you're
I think that's an insult.
No,
that's an insult. That's an insult.
I thought this was going to be more fun. It was an accident.
No. I think some of that drink from last night's coming over. Either way, we're talking state track when we come back. We have 2 state champs coming back home with gold medals. We're talking Michael Pinones out of East Central and Rafe Clendenin out of Brandeis. Plus, San Antonio FC pulled off their biggest win of the season. Not only that, franchise history. Next. The UIL State Track and Field Championships wrap up this evening in Austin, and the entire schedule is condensed due to inclement weather. But that didn't stop East Central senior Michael Pinones from going out on top in the Class 6A shot put. After finishing as state runner-up last season, Pinones once again found himself in second place heading into the final throw, and he clutched out the win with a toss of 65 feet, 11.5 inches. He ends his career on top of the podium. How about that? On the track side of things, girls Class 6A 300-meter hurdles, Reagan Jr. Isabella DeGrossa battles her way onto the podium, finishing second overall in 41.8 seconds, one of many silver medalists from today's action. First, though, congratulations to Brandeis senior Rafe Clendenin, who struck gold in the Class 6A discus throw. His best toss was 184 feet and 3 inches. In the Class 6A boys high jump competition, Brennan senior Armando Acevedo cleared the bar at 6 feet 10 inches to secure a silver medal. In the boys pole vault, Reagan Jr. Samuel Abati took second with a best of 16 feet, 3 inches. And Judson's Alexis Jesse took second in the triple jump. Her longest jump was 40 feet, 3¼ inches. Brennan's Kayla Lyons is also bringing home silver in the 800-meter run. Reagan's Mackenzie DeGrossa took third in the high jump. And New Braunfels' Ella Vidas was third in the pole vault. Got full results from all the state championships right now on the BGC page at KSAT.com. The defending state champion O'Connor softball team faced elimination today in Game 3 of their Class 6A third-round series against Weslaco. This one's in extras. Bottom of the ninth, game tied at 1. Winning run at third, and with the season on the line, Mako Dominguez snags a hot shot out of the air to rob Weslaco of the game-winning RBI. We head to the top of the 10th, and OC finally breaks through. Amaya Jasso shoots a base hit into right. That'll plate the go-ahead run and kickstart a 3-run frame. O'Connor is still alive with a 4-1 victory in 10 innings. Next up, East Central in the regional semifinals. Let's head to the majors. Rangers looking to clinch at least a series split with a bounce-back win over the A's. Pick this one up in the top of the 4th. Texas up 2-0. Nathaniel Lowe sends a rocket deep to left. That'll fly on out of here for a solo shot. One of 9 hits on the day for the Rangers. Texas takes this one 5-0 and will go for the series win tomorrow. San Antonio FC continues their road trip with a match against the Eastern Conference leading Charleston Battery tonight, and San Antonio owned this one from start to finish. 8th minute of play, keeper out of position, and Sam Adeniran makes them pay. That makes it 1-0 San Antonio right out of the gates. 32nd minute, Tani Oluwaseyi, finds some space and buries a shot into the back of the net. 4 first-half goals from the Alamo City club. Oluwaseyi and Ignacio Bailoni both tally a brace. SAFC scores a touchdown. They win it 7-0, the largest victory in franchise history. Last but not least, the XFL wrapped up their inaugural season this evening in the Alamo Dome, and the underdog Renegades absolutely stunned the top-ranked DC Defenders from the opening snap. Arlington jumped out to a 17-0 lead. Quarterback Luis Perez threw 3 touchdown passes, and the Renegades win 35-26 to claim the first ever XFL title. That'll do it for sports. We are back after the break.
Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a few peaks of sun, then some scattered pop-up afternoon showers and storms, 40% coverage, 81 degrees. We get into next week. We boost those rain and storm chances a little bit more into Monday, and then a little bit warmer, less rain.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
You'll never believe this. We just got a call from Michelle Jordan. She said she got away from the people that kidnapped her. They tried to burn her alive.
This morning on GMSA, the family of an EMT in Ohio says it is a miracle that this woman is still alive a week after vanishing. The miraculous ending to a bizarre story, and as you can see on your screen, it's all tied to a court case.
Back here at home, a chase involving a motorcycle in the Bexar County Sheriff's Office ends in a deadly crash. What we've learned about the suspect, including ties to a motorcycle gang.
And taking a live look out of the Alamo City, it is so much calmer and quieter than it was the last couple days. Mike Oster has joined us in studio on this Mother's Day to give us the full forecast in just a few moments. First and foremost, good morning. Thank you so much for starting your Mother's Day with us.
Good morning.
It is 6 o'clock Sunday, May 14th. Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing moms out there.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom, and all the moms out there.
Do you have any good plans today to celebrate your mom?
My mom's in Corpus.
Okay.
But my baby brother who lives there, we work something out.
Okay.
Wow. He's setting up the gift from all of us.
I'm excited. Mike, what about yourself?
We're going to be taking my wife out to brunch later on today, which raises the point, if you are heading on out later on this afternoon or even this morning, take an umbrella, just be on the safe side, because we'll have a couple of more showers, storm popping up here and there. But yeah, nothing like yesterday, although still getting a lot of very heavy rain off to the east. It is much more tranquil this morning, pardon me. As you can see, the road's pretty dry out there, 410 by the airport. There's all the big storms well off to our east. And let me jump back here. And if you look a little bit closer, yeah, they are moving in towards right there, just to the east of DeWitt County, kind of sliding up to the northwest. So it's not really coming in our direction, just kind of grazing our eastern counties. Hallettsville, you're getting some more decent rain, and of course the heaviest rain there. But this, again, the overall trend is for this sliding further up to the north. Now, a couple of showers can't be ruled out throughout the morning hours around here. Just a little bit of some light rain. Temperatures are actually slightly below normal. Got some 50s out there in parts of the hill country, 64 here in town, so just a notch or two below that. And the humidity really isn't that bad. I mean, think back to Friday when we had just that extreme humidity before all these storms started to work their way on in here. Now, humidity will definitely be something. We'll have to watch out for a couple of patches of fog, I think, this morning, because I actually saw just a little bit of the kind of hint of the moon this morning. And so if you have not a complete cloud cover, and that's going to allow some of that heat to escape out in space. Obviously, we've got a ton of moisture in the ground, so just watch out for a patch or two of fog. Mold is on the high side. Grass and pine are low. And throughout the rest of today, we got the heavier rain to the east. And then again, you can't completely rule out a stray shower or thunderstorm or two just here or there. Decent downpour. Again, can't be ruled out, and that's going to be the situation. Actually, a slightly better chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms around here tomorrow. Then things will begin to sort of taper off as far as rain is concerned. But overall, again, pretty good if you've got some outdoor plans today for brunch. Just keep that umbrella handy to be on the safe side. The rest of the forecast for the upcoming week coming up in just a couple of minutes. Sarah, Max?
Thank you, Mike. New this morning, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office tells us an alleged motorcycle gang member dead after a chase ends in a crash. So take a look. This was the scene around 10 last night. This is Northwest Loop 410. BCSO deputy on the scene telling us a speeding motorcycle started to pull over for a traffic stop, then took off again. After a brief chase, the deputy actually lost sight of the bike. However, deputies then found the motorcycle and the driver. They'd crashed into another vehicle at Loop 410 and Highway 151. We're told the rider died at the scene. 3 other people involved in the crash taken to the hospital, only with minor injuries. BCSO telling us the rider of the motorcycle, he was found with a gun, outgoing arrest warrants, and he was a known motorcycle gang member. Topping your morning headlines, the family of an EMT in Ohio says she is alive, now being treated at a hospital.
As ABC's Allison Kosick reports, her alleged kidnapping happened days before she was going to testify in a court case.
The family of an Ohio woman thankful and relieved after she was found alive days after disappearing.
I'm grateful she had the strength and the willingness to fight to survive.
Lachelle Jordan, an EMT in Cleveland, went to get something out of her car last Saturday, but her family says she never returned. 6 days later, the 30-year-old seen on surveillance video limping into a convenience store, no shoes, her clothes ripped. She asked to use the clerk's phone to call 911.
You'll never believe this. We just got a call from Lachelle Jordan. She said she got away from the people that kidnapped her. They tried to burn her alive.
To the people at the convenience store who let her use the phone, thank God you were there.
She's now being treated at the hospital.
Lachelle has had some trauma. She's had some injuries, and she's been hospitalized.
The alleged kidnapping happened just days before Jordan was to testify in a case involving 65-year-old Michael Stennett, reportedly a former coworker. He had been indicted on 2 counts of rape and 1 count of abduction. He pleaded not guilty. Jordan reported that Stennett violated a restraining order several times, the most recent just 2 days before she went missing. Police have not implicated Stennett in Jordan's disappearance. Officials also have not released any other information about how she got to that convenience store. Her family saying,
well, she ran. And I'm going to say that in a simple way. She ran.
Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, 1 person was killed and a curfew was imposed Saturday after a powerful tornado tore through a community near the Texas coast. It happened before dawn Saturday morning. 42-year-old Roberto Flores was killed when a nearby trailer was lifted during the storm and crushed his mobile home in Laguna Heights. At least 10 others were hospitalized, including 2 people in critical condition. At least 36 people are currently staying in emergency shelters as they deal with storm damage to their homes.
Right now on KSAT.com, a short-lived partnership between the Texas Department of Public Safety and the City of Austin. Well, that partnership now being put on pause. DPS, they were actually helping Austin police patrol the city streets, but now troopers are headed to the border, helping cities who are facing the end of Title 42 and facing an expected migrant surge.
And U.S. Congressman Dan Crenshaw has been chosen by House Republicans to lead a task force on how to deal with Mexican drug cartels. The task force is expected to include members of several committees and border and criminal justice issues. The group will also focus on researching cartel activity and writing legislation to fight cartels and their impact on cross-border traffic.
Time now, 6:07, 64 degrees out.
Still ahead on GMSA, police in North Carolina got some help during a manhunt from some cows.
Oh.
Yep, we'll explain that before 6:30.
After the break, a refugee service here in Texas struggling to help with an influx of people as they make their way to America. And all of this struggle, that was even before the end of Title 42. What they're doing now, that's next.
Mike is here for your Mother's Day forecast. 64 degrees right now at 6:08. Maybe some light showers out there, but all in all, he says not a washout today and don't have to cancel any outdoor plans. He'll explain when we come back.
Welcome back. As we keep an eye on the southern border after the end of Title 42, the state's largest refugee resettlement agency says they can't take on any new clients.
So Refugee Services of Texas will continue to help its existing clients, but says recent migrant surges have eaten up their budget.
While the pause is temporary, Camelia Juarez tells us what this means for refugees across the state as we move forward.
When the team, they took us there, we were hugging each other and we were so happy. And as I said, I was about to cry.
Hamad Sarosh and his wife fled Afghanistan last year. And after 6 months of moving around, Refugee Services of Texas helped Sarosh settle into his own apartment.
And finally, I was saying, okay, I'm in my new home.
Sarosh and his wife were given medical care, cultural education, and even a job.
The position I work, the environment which I work, I love it.
Refugee Services of Texas will continue to serve its 1,300 clients, including Sarosh. But due to a recently depleted budget, for the next 4 months, the agency will have to refer new refugees to national organizations.
We just need all hands on deck right now to be able to close this gap.
Chris Kelly with Refugee Services of Texas is talking about the $4 million the agency hopes to raise. He says under former President Trump's administration, fewer refugees were entering the U.S. and needing services. But the agency became overwhelmed following the evacuation of Afghanistan and the Russian invasion on Ukraine. The number of people in need rose quickly.
It was a chaotic evacuation, and our job was to resettle as many of those folks as we could in a very short period.
To save money, the agency is reducing its staff by 45% and closing offices in Fort Worth and Houston, a decision that Kelly says is heartbreaking because the staff members work and live where the refugees live.
There are people, they can't speak English, they don't understand the GPS. That's why I'm saying they need agencies like RST to support them.
Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
And so after more budget cuts, the agency hopes donations will come in over just the next few months and help those in need. If you're interested in more information, we have a link to support them. Right now, just head to ksat.com. And turning to weather, the last couple of days, craziness. But last night, I can tell you, I slept more than 4 hours, wasn't woken up by thunder and lightning. Big win.
Nice. And it was interesting, those storms, and because we kept looking at some of the computer models and everything, and boy, the timing of that was exact. And yes, unfortunately, there were some severe storms, but a lot of rain. The magic number, 2.31 inches at the airport yesterday. Greatest single day total in 500, I believe it's 77 days.
Wow.
2 2/3, or a year and 2/3, something like that. That's just a 1 day total. So we could still see another, inch, a couple of inches here and there. So just be on the lookout for that, because any of these showers and thunderstorms that may pop up around here can still have a decent downpour. Now, you can see there's a little bit of maybe the glow of the sunrise there. Don't get your hopes up of seeing too much in the way of sunshine today, but we will have some. So, okay, who got how much? There's that 2.31 out there at the airport. Lotus about 1.75 inches, 2 1/4 inches right there around northern Real County. Look at that, Garner State Park, about 3 inches of rain. Down to the southwest, there was that one bullseye right there, but otherwise, Brackettville, 2 inches. Uvalde, just over 1 inch of rain. The lion's share, of course, is to the east and to the southeast. Smiley, 6.5 inches of of rain. Lavaca River about 4 1/4. Hallettsville 4 1/2 inches of rain. And don't forget all of the rain that has fallen, like San Antonio River, and that's going downstream. So watch out for any sort of flooding along any streams or creeks. Here's what's going on as of right now. And we do have a fair amount of rain well off to the east, some pretty good showers and even a few thunderstorms. Now, initially, it looks like these are wanting to kind of go to the northwest, but most of the movement, as you can see, is now starting to be further up to the almost kind of a northwestwardly movement, a little bit closer into town. We don't really have anything being picked up on radar right now, but don't be surprised if there are a couple of showers that do end up popping up. And some of these obviously are going to be just kind of working their way on our extreme east and northeastern counties as this continues to move its way up to the north. So got that 40% chance for some rain off to the east. That's what that is taking into account. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s, and then we are going to warm up into the 70s. We do have that chance going to have a 40% chance for another shower or thunderstorm to pop up here or there throughout the course of the day. This is what computer models are looking like. We've got this rain off to the east, and then as we go on into the afternoon hours, a lot of that stays to the east. A couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm pop up here and there. Notice how it's not very widespread. Again, you might see a heavier downpour with any of these that do end up popping up. Fairly quiet overnight. But then we'll have a few more as the day rolls on tomorrow. Probably a slightly better chance for a few of those showers and some of those storms to pop up as we go into tomorrow. So the forecast today, again, rain well off to the east this morning, and then a couple of showers, mostly cloudy skies basically at noon. Just that slight chance for a shower here or there. And then later on this afternoon, there will be a couple of showers. There will be a storm or two around the area. 81 for a high temperature. Now, going into the rest of the week, tomorrow, upper 70s and slightly better chance for some showers and a thunderstorm or two. And then a little bit lesser chance on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, Thursday, one or two that may pop up here or there. And then we'll have a slightly better shot at a couple of stray showers than Friday and Saturday. But those temperatures at or below normal.
Okay.
Get a little bit warmer going into the rest of the week, just up to normal readings. Not a ton of humidity out there, but all that moisture making things green and lush.
That's why I don't mind all these showers. We're in May and
not at all.
Let's not even talk about the S word, summer.
Right. And I got my grass cut Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon.
Has it grown 2 inches already?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I got that done so I didn't have to, get some goats and a sickle out there to cut it. So.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Just about 618, 64 degrees.
Up next, Max.
UIL State Track and Field Championships wrapping up. Rain not getting in the way of any of these athletes on the podium. We have the highlights from Austin. That's next. Welcome back. UIL State Track and Field Championships officially wrapping up the entire schedule in Austin. It was condensed because, all the rain, but not stopping East Central senior Michael Pinones from going on top. Look at that. Class 6A shot put, finishing as state runner-up last season. Once again, finding himself in second place, headed into the final throw. Clutched the win. He threw it, or tossed it, however you want to call it, 65 feet, 11 1/2 inches. He ends his career on top of the podium. All right, here we go. Track girls, 6A, 300 meters. Reagan Jr. Isabella DeGrossa battling her way under the podium, second overall, 41.8 seconds. And of course, Brandeis Senior Rafe Clendenden, he struck gold in the Class 6A discus throw, best toss, 184 feet, 3 inches. These are why they're the champs. Right. In the Class 6A boys high jump competition, Brennan Sr. Armando Acevedo clearing the bar. Get this. We're throwing out crazy numbers here. Cleared the bar at 6 feet, 10 inches, and that was silver. So congratulations, boys pole vault. We talked about this yesterday. Way too scared to even try pole vault. Reagan Jr. Samuel Abadi taking second, a best of 16 feet 3 inches. And Judson's Alexis Jesse taking second in the triple jump. Longest jump, 40 feet 3 1/4 inches. We got more though. Brennan's Kayla Lyons also bringing home silver. We have so much great representation here. 800-meter run, Reagan's Mackenzie DeGrossa taking third in the high jump, her second medal of the day. Wow. New Braunfels Ella Vados with third in the poll vote. We have all the results from all the state championships right now. Just head to KSAT.com. But seeing the numbers and then talking about some of the numbers yesterday, like one of the local champions under 4:47 mile.
Oh, to be young. I
was young.
Yeah,
I still
couldn't do that either.
Time now, 6:23, 65 degrees.
Just ahead before 6:30, the most popular baby names. They are here for 2022. See if your bundle of joy made the list in just moments. This morning, police searching for a suspect in North Carolina got some unlikely help.
All right, so they say the suspect, Joshua Minton, leading police on a chase into the heart of a field filled with cows. So take a look. Officers say the cows followed Minton through the field as he tried to hide. It's hard to know for sure exactly which cow helped police find the suspect, but they believe it was a group effort. He was eventually charged with felony fleeing to elude and driving with a revoked license. Police are expressing their gratitude for the cow's assistance.
Oh, wow. Okay, meanwhile, the most popular names are out from last year, and you'll see mostly familiar names topping the list. Olivia, Liam, each took the #1 spot again. Liam, I love that name. Liam's a great name. For the 6th year in a row. Wow.
Apparently you're not the only person who thinks that's a great name.
Olivia for the 4th. Top 5 on the boys list includes Noah, great name, Oliver, James, and Elijah.
I really thought you were going to say great name after each one.
For the girls, Emma, Charlotte, Amelia, and Sophia. There's only one new name that made the top of the list. Oh, I love this name.
Sure you do.
Luna.
There we go. That is a nice name. All right.
Cute.
Time now, just about 6:28, 65 degrees.
Still ahead at 6:30, people across the country are paying a lot of money for a new IV hydration therapy. We'll look at how it works and why it's so popular.
And up next, San Antonio police had their hands full overnight. What we learned about a gas station shooting. We have all the details still ahead. Good morning. 6:31 this Sunday. It is May 14th. Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing mothers out there. And Mike Oserhage, he has been ready for Mother's Day brunch. Look at the outfit.
Yes. This is the best Mother's Day brunch look here.
You're kind. Thank you very
Mother's
much.
Day brunch at the Yacht Club. I love it.
If you are heading out for Mother's Day, maybe brunch, something like that, or heading off to church services this morning, it's very tranquil out there. Actually, I saw a little bit of the moon earlier. We don't have any rain in the immediate vicinity. We are at 64 degrees right now. Dew point's at 63, so that puts relative humidity very high up there, 96%, which means with that little bit of some breaks in the clouds here and there, got to watch out for a patch or two of fog. 81 for a high temperature later on today. The aquifer. This number is almost mind-boggling because we haven't seen it go up this much in, it seems like forever, up 3.1 feet in yesterday's reading. The updated count's going to be coming out, of course, later on this morning. And mold is on the high side. With all the moisture around here, that is going to be staying high. Grass and pine are low. We do still have some rain around the area this morning, well off there to the east. And notice how the movement of those showers and thunderstorms is pretty much up to the north. Maybe a little bit of a north-northwestwardly movement, but all of that, except for, say, around Hallettsville, is going to stay just to the east of our viewing area. Obviously, some of those showers right there in eastern Gonzales County, but for the most part, as you can see as I zoom out, that this is sliding primarily to the, like I said, northwest. A little bit closer into town. We don't have anything showing up on radar right now, but again, there may be just a slight little sprinkle here or there. So we're not completely done with the rain. If you are heading on out, make sure you do take an umbrella just to be on the safe side, because there will be scattered shower, thunderstorm here and there. 50s in the hill country right now, 66 at Stinson and 71 still at Gonzales. And as far as, like I said, the allergens, mold is on the high side. And yeah, I think we're going to be keeping that around here. So rain to the east this morning, and then a shower elsewhere possible later on this afternoon. A couple of showers, a thunderstorm or two, low 80s. Now, still you want to be on the lookout, because if any of these thunderstorms do pop up, you still can get some fairly decent downpours. And again, with the ground so saturated from the rain that we had Friday and yesterday, most everything would just be running off and not soaking in that quickly. Tomorrow we will have some scattered storms, slightly better chance, and we're going to be up in the mid 70s. Then we go into the rest of the week. Rain chances are going to start to taper off a little bit, you know, a stray one here or there, and we are going to start to warm up. However, low 80s, mid 70s. Those numbers are below normal. So we're just basically going to be warming back up to normal readings as we finish off the rest of the upcoming week. What about the weekend? Details on that in just a couple of minutes. Sarah, Max?
Thank you, Mike. New this morning, Bexar County Sheriff's Office tells us an alleged motorcycle gang member dead after a chase ends in a crash. So take a look. This was a scene around 10 last night, Northwest Loop 410. BCSO deputy on the scene telling us a speeding motorcycle was pulled over for a traffic stop, but that motorcyclist took off. After a brief chase, the deputy actually lost sight of the biker. However, the deputy then found the motorcycle had crashed into another vehicle at the intersection of 410 and Highway 151. We're told that rider died at the scene. 3 other people involved in the crash, they were taken to the hospital with just minor injuries. BCSO also telling us the rider was found with a gun, arrest warrants, and was known to be in a motorcycle gang.
A man is in the hospital after shooting in a gas station parking lot, and San Antonio police are still searching for the shooter. So police say it happened just before 3 a.m. at a QT on Southwest Military Drive. 2 men were allegedly fighting in the parking lot when someone shot at them. One man was hit in the leg and taken to the hospital where he's expected to recover. Police are still looking for the suspect, who they say left in a dark-colored sedan.
And San Antonio fire crews say a couch fire is to blame for an apartment going up in smoke just west of downtown. This was a scene just before 2 a.m. The 200 block of Violeta Place. 2 people there at the time. They were able to get out safely, taken to the hospital. Now, San Antonio police investigating the cause of the fire. They say one person is in custody as a person of interest.
One person was killed and another was taken into custody after shooting at a northeast side car wash. San Antonio police say it happened around 7:30 last night in the 1200 block of Northeast Loop 410. SAPD says the suspect and the victim were in a vehicle going through the car wash when something happened that led to the shooting. The suspect is accused of shooting the victim once before coming out of the car wash and flagging down bystanders. Authorities say the suspect claimed the shooting was self-defense. The victim died at the scene.
We also have new details on the body of a man that was discovered in a creek along San Pedro Avenue. Now, San Antonio police officers in a helicopter making the discovery in the 5900 block of San Pedro. They were actually searching for a missing person. Now, officers say the body is a man, possibly in his 20s or 30s. Unclear how he died, but there does appear to be physical trauma. Right now, the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office trying to figure out who this person was.
A diesel leak is being monitored near the water treatment plant in the city of Kerrville. A statement from the city says the leak was detected at a business upstream from the water plant. The statement says Friday's storms caused damage that led to that leak. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has been notified. Kerrville city officials say appropriate precautions were taken and the city has switched water to the groundwater wells. The city will remain on groundwater wells until that water plant comes back online, which is expected to happen sometime next week.
Well, every year, breast cancer is diagnosed in hundreds of thousands of people across the United States. To this day, it remains the second leading cause of cancer death among women. That is why today on Leading SA at 8 a.m., we're talking about new guidelines just published regarding mammogram screenings. Bless you. We're joined by a specialist from UT Health San Antonio, MD Anderson Cancer Center. If you have any questions that you want submitted, you can ask them right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Then join us at 8 a.m. for the full conversation.
Well, it's graduation season for high school and college students, and KSAT was there Saturday for a very special graduation at Texas State University. Just take a look. That's Faith Mata, older sister of Tess Mata, graduated Friday after an incredibly hard year without her sister. A picture of Tess filled a chair between her mom, Veronica, and dad, Jerry. The 10-year-old was killed nearly 1 year ago at Robb Elementary. From Faith's cap to her tassel and stole, you can see pieces of Tess everywhere. Faith's extended family and the loved ones of some of the other 21 victims were there to cheer Faith on as she jumped into the river holding Tess's photo.
Feels bittersweet. I'm glad that I could be here with all the people who were part of my journey. Though I'm missing Tess, it sucks, but I'm ready to jump into the future now.
And Faith has big plans for the future, plans that were shaped in part by what her and her family went through this last year. And we'll have that story, more tributes to the victims and survivors of the Robb tragedy on May 24th at 9 p.m. in an hour-long KSAT 12 special recalling 1 year in Uvalde.
In the midst of the healing, there was some cheer, excitement, and even basketball for the Uvalde community. San Antonio Spurs and other partners opening up a new playground for students at the Uvalde Dual Language Academy. So with the help of Uvalde CISD and the San Antonio Area Foundation, the Spurs and other groups teamed up to create a dream playground for the kids to help with the healing process. Children from around Uvalde helped plan and even design the perfect play space where they can go and enjoy their childhood. Former students from Robb Elementary also helped with creating this design. Time now just about 6:40, 65 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA, you've probably already looked up who won the XFL Championship, Max.
So it happened at the Dome last night, and your guy, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, in attendance. We're going to take a look at how it all went down. That's coming up.
And up next, people across the country are paying a lot of money for a new IV hydration therapy. So we'll show you how it works and why it's so popular.
And Mike Osterhage in the house with a dapper fit this morning, taking a live look out there. So much calmer and quieter than we've had the last couple of days. We're going to check in for your full Mother's Day forecast in just a few moments. Just into the newsroom, San Antonio police say a man in the hospital after a shooting in just the last couple hours. It happened around 4:15 this morning. This is the 1000 block of Locke Street that's near I-35 on the city's east side. A man found with gunshot wounds in the parking lot of an apartment complex, taken to BAMC in critical condition. Police have suspect on the suspect so far, so we are still waiting to learn more information from those investigators. All right, switching gears this morning, a new health trend getting a lot of popularity around the country. Have you heard about this?
I've heard about it.
Okay, have you done it?
I've never done it. Now I'm curious. So it's called IV hydration therapy, which provides hydration, vitamins, other supplement. Promos claim it can increase energy, help you recover from hangovers. Not that I get those. Jet lag, boost, and recovery.
ABC's Tim Pulliam taking a closer look at these infusions.
Little pinch, okay? Kelly Alexander is getting an IV drip, but we're not at the hospital or a doctor's office.
Kelly, how do you feel right now?
I am super relaxed.
We're at Rejuve Med Spa, one of a growing number of businesses nationwide that offer IV therapy. Rejuve's options include hangover fix, immune booster, migraine or pain, even beauty drips.
So we have a bag of saline with a certain amount of vitamins, depending on what they want, what they need, and we'll start an IV on them. They sit here for 30 minutes and enjoy their time, relax, and then they're on the way.
Nina Aquino is a licensed vocational nurse at Rejuve.
Because it's directly in the bloodstream, it works right away. It can last for a whole week, so everyone can come here once a week for their dose of IV therapy.
Kelly is receiving the anti-aging drip today.
It's self-care. You're taking care of yourself. So you're taking, an hour out of your day to come and do something for yourself.
Kelly has been a client at Rejuve for nearly a year now.
Why do you keep coming back?
Well, because I'm seeing results.
The price for IV therapy can range from $100 to $1,000, and companies claim to offer many benefits, but some experts say to be careful. Benefits are unclear, and this kind of IV therapy is not regulated by the FDA nor FDA approved.
IV treatments that are not in a regulated facility, such as a doctor's office or a hospital, may have contaminants. They may have been packaged in a facility that is not sterile, and that you may not know exactly what you're getting, regardless of what's advertised.
Hydration therapy, like nutritional supplements, don't need FDA approval, but the seller of the products or procedures can't make any claim that they can treat or cure any condition.
It's really tempting to be able to say, I'm going to pay $200 or $300 and get this IV treatment, and it's going to boost my metabolism, fix my jet lag, cure my chronic fatigue. There are a lot of companies out there that'll advertise claims that, simply put, we have no research to support.
If you decide to try IV therapy, do your research. Make sure there is a board-certified healthcare professional administering the IV and that an emergency backup plan is in place. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I'd try it.
I would try it, especially if I, had a fun night the night before.
What are you insinuating? I thought you just said you don't get hangovers.
I mean, just to maybe prevent it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it from actually happening.
If anyone does want to indulge in some Mother's Day mimosas today, is it a good day to sit outside?
It's going to be a bit on the humid side. That's all this moisture hanging around here. If you do decide to sit outside, take an umbrella with you or to be outside, just because we will have a couple of more showers and, a storm or two here or there. All right, rain gauges. Boy, oh boy, a lot of folks been sending in pictures. And look at this one in Cuero. What's that reading? About 3 3/4 inches of rain. And then, as this caption says, add that to the weekly total, about 9.5 inches down the southeast in Cuero. That is fantastic. Now, with all of that rain, which is obviously just beautiful, and then we had a bunch of it coming all at once yesterday, do watch it along some of the rivers, especially south and east of town, as everything is flowing obviously downstream, and there may be some of them spilling over their banks. And also, there may still be some low water crossings that are flooded over this morning. So we got a lot of clouds hanging around here as of right now, and I don't know what that update is. Let me go do something with my maps here, because hate it when those pop-ups come up right in the middle of a newscast. I don't want to restart this right now. Oh, darn. Well, I'm just going to switch this over like this, over to this screen right here. Thank you, though, sir. I appreciate that. And then I will just say, we'll do that another time. Okay. That'll be the simple thing to do. Thank you very much. All right, here you can see a better view of the showers and thunderstorms off there to the east of us. And nothing is showing up on radar really in the metropolitan area. And these showers and storms, as you can see, initially it looked like they were trying to work their way to the northwest, but it's more of a northwestwardly movement. So obviously we are getting grazed in our eastern counties right there in eastern Gonzales County. Hallettsville has been getting a fairly decent amount of rain. Now it's kind of tapering off just a little bit, and may see some of these little sprinkles here and there. But like I said, there's nothing around the metropolitan area as of right now. We are seeing some fog to develop. Bernie right now, 3/4 of a mile, half mile there in Kerrville. Nothing in and around town right now. But with all this moisture, all the moisture in the ground, and in some places a couple of breaks in the clouds, we have to watch out for some patchy fog. And that's going to be the situation the next couple of days. We've got that 40% chance for some of that, or the rain that's in place right now. And then throughout the rest of today, still keep a rain chance in the forecast, because there will be a couple of pop-ups here and there. Now, computer models are not overly bullish about all of this. As a matter of fact, as you can see, this is just keeping the rain primarily off to the east, but just again, a couple of them will pop up here and there, even though not indicated with computer models. And tomorrow we'll start off, like I said, patch of fog here and there, and then we will have a couple of more scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up around here throughout the day. And given the fact we still have lots of moisture hanging around here, any of these showers that pop up over the next couple of days, today, tomorrow, total, you could see another inch of rain. You could see another 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. It'd be very localized, not widespread like what we had yesterday, but still just be on the lookout for that. And with the ground saturated, a lot of that would not soak in very quickly and would just run off. 75 at noon today, mostly cloudy skies, a stray shower or two. Peaks of sunshine, kind of doubt that. A couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms. So if you are have some outdoor plans today, just take an umbrella with you, because there will be just scattered about some of those showers and a storm or two. A little bit better chance for some rain tomorrow. Then we'll still have a few showers, storms Tuesday. Hardly anything, almost not worth mentioning Wednesday, Thursday, and then we go into the weekend and just bump that up a little bit as far as the rain chance. Temperatures are going to be staying in check. Those numbers are the only time we get back up to normal is by the weekend there. So nice looking. Hopefully by Wednesday, Thursday, you get a chance to cut your grass again.
Ugh, I just cut it. It's grown like 3 inches.
Yeah, I think I've cut my grass more in the past couple of months than I have in the past 2 years.
Wow. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, which is great.
6:51, 65 degrees.
Take a look outside with the roads. Maybe you're getting an early start, headed out to Sunday's service or Mother's Day early brunch or breakfast. We don't really see anything popping up over on our end, but if an incident does happen, we'll let you know about it.
Good morning, welcome back. And hey, how about SAFC put on a show last night, continued the road trip this weekend, taking on the Eastern Conference leading Charleston Battery. San Antonio battered their way to victory from start to finish. 8th minute, keeper out of position, Sam Adeniran making them pay. 1-0 San Antonio right out the gate. And then here we go, 32nd minute, Alawushie finding some space, buries a shot in the back of the net. 4 first-half goals for SAFC. They scored a touchdown plus the extra point. That's a joke because it's football, and it's football. They win it 7-0, the largest victory in, yes, all of SAFC franchise history. And look at this transition from football to football. The XFL wrapping up their inaugural season. Kind of. It's like the 3rd iteration of the XFL. Last night at the Alamo Dome, the underdog Arlington Renegades stunning the top-ranked DC Defenders. From the opening snap, Arlington jumping out to a 17-0 early lead. 3 touchdown passes from quarterback Luis Perez, and the Renegades win big 35-26 to claim the first ever 3rd iteration XFL title. I mean, we had Dwayne here. We're on a first name basis, The Rock and I. It'll be awesome if this league continues, and maybe the Brahmas can bring us home a trophy. I think the trophy's pretty awesome, too.
Amazing.
Yeah, so congratulations, everyone involved. Sorry, Mike, you're just on the outside looking in. Time now, 6:56. Got him. 65 degrees out.
We'll be right back.
Good morning, welcome back, and happy Mother's Day. We want to celebrate all of the GMSA moms out there. So we had Colin's mom.
That was Phyllis. Colin's
my mom in there with my dad. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
And that's Caitlin's mom, Melissa. Happy Mother's Day. And that's my mom,
There we go.
Patty. Happy Mother's Day to all of our moms. Thank you for putting up with us and, just being so great and special.
I didn't get the memo to send one in, but there's me and my mom.
No, that's me and my mom. There we go.
Aww. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
All right, well, a couple of showers, a couple of storms here or there. Most of the rain is well off to the east of us, and just take an umbrella if you are going to be outside today.
That was good. Happy Mother's Day. We're going to take an hour-long break. Don't go anywhere. Back here at 8 a.m. We'll see you then.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
All right, we are starting with a live look out at the Alamo City, already up to 67 degrees on this Mother's Day Sunday. A lot quieter and a lot calmer than we saw yesterday morning. Mike Osterhage in, and he's going to tell us what to expect. Good morning. It is 8 o'clock this Sunday. It is May 14th. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
All the amazing mothers out there. So, I know your mom's in Corpus.
She's in Corpus Christi.
Did you give her a call yet, a text?
No, she's hopefully watching.
Okay.
But I made an arrangement with my younger brother who lives there to get a little gift together.
Very nice. For all the local mothers out there, Mike, if they want to go to a nice brunch, they need an umbrella today?
Keep one handy just to be on the safe side. We're going to have a couple of showers, a couple of storms pop up later on this afternoon. But as of right now, things are looking pretty good. As you mentioned, we're at 67 degrees. That bottom number, dew points at 65. That's been creeping up and up a little bit. And yeah, we do have, as you can see there behind that graphic, a little bit of sun trying to squeeze on through. And the high temperature today is going to make it up to 81 degrees, which is still on the low side of normal by about 5 or so on average around the area. The aquifer, huge jump yesterday, 3.1 feet. Can't wait for today's numbers to come out, and then there's still more rain in the future. Molds on the high side. Those numbers haven't been updated as of yet. Haven't got the latest count yet. Grass and pine are on the low side. What we are dealing with, though, with all this humidity out there, all the moisture in the ground, we do have some very thick fog, especially heading up into portions of the hill country. Well, at one point just a little bit ago, Bernie was down to 0 visibility, but a quarter mile at Bernie as well as New Braunfels, half-mile visibility in Kerrville. So we're going to have to watch out for some fog this morning, maybe a little bit of mist with that. Been watching that big batch of rain off there to the east of us, but as you can see, that's kind of fizzling off, and all of that pretty much moved in a northwestwardly direction. So that has been avoiding us, and those temperatures, now we did start off a little bit below normal this morning, and gonna have a good day today. But like I said, keep an umbrella handy just to be on the safe side. More rain in the forecast, though, coming up this week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Sarah, Max.
Thank you, Mike. New this morning, an update to a deadly hit and run that killed 18-year-old Jacob Lopez. San Antonio police have arrested 66-year-old Daniel Martinez for failure to stop and render aid, resulting in death. Lopez's body was found near the I-35 access road and Kiowa Street on May 7th. That's between Somerset and Palo Alto roads. Investigators say Lopez's face had blood on it and his damaged motorcycle was found nearby. Police say someone called in a tip after seeing news on the deadly hit and run. That's what led them to Martinez.
And the Bexar County Sheriff's Office says an alleged motorcycle gang member dead this morning after a chase ended in a crash. So take a look. This was the scene around 10 last night. This is Northwest Loop 410. BCSO deputy on the scene telling us it was a speeding motorcyclist. They decided to pull over for a traffic stop, but then they took off again. After a brief chase, the deputy lost sight of who was on the bike. However, the deputy then found the motorcyclist had crashed into another vehicle. All of this at the intersection of 410 and Highway 151. We're told the rider died at the scene. 3 other people involved in the crash, they were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. BCSO telling us that the rider was found with a gun, arrest warrants, and was a known motorcycle gang member.
And one man is in the hospital after a shooting in a QT parking lot. San Antonio police say they are still searching for the suspect who fired those shots. Police just before 3 this morning at a QT on Southwest Military Drive say 2 men were fighting in the parking lot when someone shot at them. One man was hit in the leg and taken to the hospital where he's expected to recover. Police are still looking for the suspect who they say left in a dark-colored sedan, and this is an ongoing investigation. And new information on the body of a man that was discovered in a creek along San Pedro Avenue.
That's right. San Antonio police officers in a helicopter making this discovery. All of this happening in the 5900 block of San Pedro, and it happened when they were actually searching for a missing person. Now, officers at the scene saying the body is that of a man possibly in his 20s or 30s. They tell us it's unclear how the person died, but they said there did appear to be physical trauma. Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office still trying to figure out who exactly this person was.
So police say there are several homeless encampments under the bridge and further up the creek, and they say due to Friday's storms, the water level was noticeably high, and that may have a connection.
Well, every year, breast cancer is diagnosed in hundreds of thousands of people across the country. And to this day, it's still the second leading cause of cancer death among women. So today, we're talking about new guidelines just published regarding mammogram screenings.
That's right. So joining us and to break it all down is Dr. Virginia Kaklamani, the breast medical oncologist at UT Health San Antonio MD Anderson Cancer Center. Good morning, doctor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Mother's Day.
You as well. So, doctor, what are the new guidelines and why does this change matter?
So the new guidelines recommend us doing screening mammograms starting at the age of 40 until the age of 74 every 2 years. So that may be a little hard for people to remember. So maybe think my odd years I'm having a mammogram or my even years I'm having a mammogram. It's important because previously the guidelines said that we should start screening at the age of 50, which the committee decided based on some recent data, it's probably a little too old for us because we're having many breast cancers being diagnosed at younger ages.
So how will lowering the starting age help in diagnosing breast cancer and treating it?
So our studies have shown that there is up to a 43% decrease in mortality by doing mammograms starting at the age of 40. We're recognizing that younger women are being diagnosed. And so if we're able to diagnose that breast cancer at an earlier stage, we have a much higher likelihood of curing it.
And so all mammogram requests include information about breast density. What does this mean and what should our viewers know about that in case they go get one?
Yeah, so this is very confusing, and we had state guidelines for a while, but the FDA a couple months ago actually said that now it's FDA mandated that every mammogram will give us information about our breast density. And we know that women that have dense breasts have a higher risk of breast cancer. We also know that mammograms may not be as effective in dense breasts just because the tissue is hard to see on a mammogram. So the guidelines say that we don't have enough data to recommend ultrasounds or MRIs in those women, and we really don't. But this is where I would suggest that you talk to your radiologist when you have the mammogram and have a combined decision as to whether you should potentially have an ultrasound or even an MRI.
What does it mean when a woman is at risk due to genetics or her mother or grandmother was diagnosed with breast cancer?
And this is an important point. All of these guidelines are for women that have a general risk of having breast cancer, not a high risk. So if you have a family history, if you have a specific mutation in a gene, so a change in a gene that puts you at risk of getting breast cancer, these guidelines do not apply to you. Then we have different guidelines that recommend starting mammograms as young as 30 and MRIs as young as 25. So that's where, again, discussing with your physician, getting a family history, understanding what your personal risk is will help with screening guidelines for you.
And I know breast cancer is almost ubiquitous around the United States. I personally know about 5 people who have gone through or passed away because of breast cancer. So make the pitch to people watching. Why is it so important that women get screened early, and why should they get a mammogram?
So as you mentioned in the beginning of the segment, breast cancer is the second leading cause of death in women, the first being heart disease. And we know that early detection is the key to curing it. So please go have your mammograms. Again, guidelines starting at the age of 40, every 2 years until the age of 74. It saves lives.
Dr. Kaklamani, thank you so much for joining us, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you for having me.
And if anyone missed any of the interview or you want more information, we're going to have all that on KSAT.com throughout the morning. Time now, just about 8:09, 67 degrees out.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. It's 67 degrees at 8:08. Are we going to see it?
No.
There it is. Okay, so Mike says it's going to be kind of what it looks like outside. I think it'll be a little bit of sun making its way through the clouds on this Mother's Day. You might need an umbrella if you head out, but not any downpours, he says. He'll explain when we come back.
And of course, as we've said throughout the morning, happy Mother's Day to all of the amazing moms out there. We are so grateful, so thankful for you today.
And what you're looking at, yesterday we asked our viewers to send in your photos with mom. So here throughout the show, we're going to show them. We're going to show all the great moms that were sent in by our viewers. Head to KSAT.com, but you can also see them right here on air. Well, they're soft, cuddly. What's not to love about rabbits? But in Iowa, a biting bunny has been menacing a neighborhood. CNN's Janie Mose reports.
Beware of bunny.
Once upon a time, there lived a rabbit.
No, not Peter Rabbit. We're talking about a menacing rabbit that lives in the small city of Perry, Iowa. A black bunny, a bad bunny, a bunny caught lunging.
Hey, what?
At someone who was perhaps expecting the cuddly kind of rabbit. Ramona Rustin also encountered it.
It just jumps up and bites me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got bit by a bunny.
A Perry police report shows it also bit a 13-year-old who then had to have rabies shots. It chased another resident from her car to her door. No wonder it's been compared to the Dracula of bunnies, Bunnicula, a vampirish rabbit with fangs. Bunnies have long been bad-mouthed in movies, depicted as mutant rabbits. Able to decapitate a knight in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But cooler heads prevailed when Perry police lured the bad bunny into a cage and took it to the city's water treatment plant, where it was released. Neither hide nor hair of the rabbit has been seen since.
What devil creatures? What unknown terror?
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
And that's all, folks.
There's a lot to that.
There's a lot.
Behind the scenes, though, we first saw it in the rundown as Bad Bunny.
I got excited because I thought it was about Benito, the Bad Bunny, my favorite, singer. So
yeah,
it wasn't. It was an actual Bad Bunny.
Okay,
the Monty Python was your favorite scene, though. You called it on the spot.
What was the one right before that?
Oh, that was
that some old C grade?
That was.
I don't know, but it was terrifying.
That was a lot.
That was fantastic.
Bunnicula. That was my favorite one.
I love. Oh.
Yeah. Well
Jeannie,
done.
and how long? Jeannie must have been around for years and doing the same thing. I love that.
Clever.
Never gets old.
Very clever.
All right. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. And it is turning out to be very nice. Yesterday was quite an active day, to say the least, in the overnight hours. And hats off to Adam and Mia. Got a lot of compliments for their coverage Friday night. And then Sarah yesterday and Justin holding down the fort. No, they worked really hard. All right, Wildflowers, been loving all this rain out there. Absolutely gorgeous. Last hour or an hour ago said that I think I've cut my grass more this year than I have in the past couple of years out there. No complaints at all. Updated aquifer went up another 1.1 feet. And yesterday's reading was 3.1 feet and a little bit more kind of in between these readings. So it's gone up almost 5 feet just in the past couple of days, which is fantastic news. A lot of clouds out there this morning. We're trying to get just a little peak of sunshine here or there. And then earlier this morning, this was rather ominous looking, this big batch of rain, and it was wanting to kind of almost lean to the northwest a little bit, but the overall motion has been taking it to the northwest and taking it away from us, so we're not having to worry about that. We do have to worry about a little bit of fog. We got some very thick fog going up I-35 in toward New Braunfels, also at Bernie Stage, and then up there around Kerrville, just a half-mile visibility. It's actually improved a little bit around Bernie. It was down to 0 visibility just within about the past 45 minutes, so watch out for some of that fog. Got all that moisture in the ground. That's going to be something we have to watch out for the next couple of mornings, just because, again, all that moisture out there. And elsewhere, it's not really widespread. Some around Junction, that's actually improved slightly. Gonzales, Pleasanton, Carrizo Springs, you're seeing a little bit of fog, as well as Cotulla. Temperatures, upper 50s and upper 60s, mid to upper 60s. We've already started the warming process a bit this morning, and we still have plenty of moisture out there. Actually, these numbers have been going up. So, again, that's the reason why we see some of that fog when those two numbers, temperatures and dew point temperatures, are kind of running neck and neck. Still got that, I'll call it 30% chance. Some of those leftover showers well off to the east. Then things are going to taper down, but I can't completely rule out another shower thunderstorm to pop up around the area later on today. So 40% chance for some rain. It's not going to be raining everywhere nor constantly. As a matter of fact, most everybody's not going to see anything today. We will top off at 81 later on, so still well below normal. So here's the computer model, and it's got some of these showers off to the east. And then notice how going through the afternoon hours, just a couple of them, primarily to the east, not many. It's kind of scattered shot around here. We're going to the overnight hours, and even this evening, I should say, prior to the overnight hours, you can see just one or two of those showers popping up. And then tomorrow morning, one or two of them here and there. Maybe some fog as well with all this moisture hanging around here, and a slightly better chance, I think, in the afternoon of just a couple of scattered showers, a thunderstorm. Still could see a decent downpour with some of these showers as well. So just keep that in mind. With the ground very saturated, you want to keep that in the back of your mind. So going into the rest of the week, there's the chance for some rain around here tomorrow. And this is kind of a broad brush computer model, but we do have more rain chances Tuesday. Then things are going to start to taper off, and virtually nil as far as a rain chance going in toward the middle part of the week. And still temperatures are going to be staying on the cooler side of things. 75 at noon today, mostly cloudy skies. Again, you can't rule out a stray shower or two. We'll have some sunshine trying to squeeze on through. 81 for a high temperature and a decent downpour. Again, also can't be ruled out. Tomorrow, well, got an okay chance for some rain out there, 77 degrees, so it's going to keep us a little bit lower. And as rain chances go down, temperatures will slowly creep up. But just finally back up to roughly normal going in toward this weekend. Tinge better chance for some rain. Also watch it, some of the rivers southeast of here, because we do have flood warnings posted along that, and any creeks, you know, the usual spots, because everything that we had yesterday is raining southeastward, and that's where a lot of the heaviest, most widespread rain was as well. So 2.31 inches of rain at the airport.
Pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's impressive. And we can't say this enough. If there are barricades up, don't drive around them.
No.
Turn around. Go another route.
Even if it hasn't rained since yesterday, like those swollen creeks are still happening. Yeah.
Not only will you get a ticket, and then your car's going to flood and dangerous. And you
there was a stranded car in the middle of the road yesterday. Katrina Weber did a great live shot, and then during the live shot, a lot of water, someone just plowed right through. We're like, what are you doing?
Live TV.
Yeah, there you go. Be safe, be smart. That's what we're here for. Time now, 8:20, 68 degrees.
Okay, a scientist and his team have discovered sounds from the Earth's stratosphere. Next, what they use to get them.
Now let's take a look at those lotto numbers. Did either of you guys play the lottery last night?
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
This dictates whether Mike's going to be here at 8:30. So pick 3, 7, 2, 4, Fireball 7. Daily 4, 1, 6, 8, 5, Fireball 3.
Cash 5, 7, 16, 23, 26, 29. Texas Lotto 11, 22, 28, 35, 39, 54. Let's get Powerball 3, 15, 20, 23, 46. Powerball 11. Power Play 2. Mike, did you win?
I'll see you at 8:30.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Good morning and welcome back. So have you ever wondered what Earth's stratosphere sounds like? No, but if you did, take a listen to this. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for saying this sounds like wind.
It sounds a lot like wind.
So giant solar balloons were sent 70,000 feet up in the air to record sounds of Earth's stratosphere, and the microphones picked up some unexpected sounds. The scientists wanted to explore the soundscape of the stratosphere after being introduced to what we're now learning is a low-frequency sound that's actually generated by volcanoes. So his team attached microphones to solar balloons, and the wind was the result. The balloons can take sensors twice as high as commercial jets can fly.
Okay, check this out. A new group of butterflies is named after a Lord of the Rings villain. So published in the Journal of Systematic Entomology, the striking wing patterns of this butterfly that you're seeing on your screen is named genus Sauron. The name is inspired by the Eye of Sauron, the antagonist, of course, from the Lord of the Rings book series. The researchers documented 2 new species of the butterflies which live in a lowland rainforest of the Amazon. Beautiful.
Right, so we have stratospheric wind and butterflies named after Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
At least you got the fun one.
I know, right?
We talked about wind. All right, time now, 8:25, 68 degrees out.
Someone's got to be the fun one.
I guess that's you today.
It's always me. Okay, happy Mother's Day to our viewers. We asked you guys to send in your photos of mom and, of course, shower them with love. And we're going to be playing their pictures, showing their pictures throughout the day here on GMSA.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. All the great moms, my mom, Patty, Miss Costa.
Sam, Mrs. Massey.
Look at that. Great teamwork. I'm Max Massey.
I'm Sarah Costa. It is Sunday, May 14th. I got it. I know that because it's the day before Max's birthday.
Oh, look at that. It's also Mother's Day, so you should know that too. Okay. So, Mike, you got a big day planned. Happy Mother's Day to your wife, Bonnie, and your mother as well.
And my mother, Ruth-Anna. Yes, indeed. Down there, she lives down in Florida. So tomorrow's your birthday?
Yeah.
It is?
Oh, Sarah.
Max is turning 25.
Sarah, you got him the gift from all of us, right? Thank you very much for that. All right, step outside this morning and a fair amount of humidity out there. Obviously, nothing like what we've had the past couple of days. 68 degrees right now. That dew point is getting up there. It is at 65 right now, and that's obviously thanks to all the moisture in the ground and light wind out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. A lot of fog up, heading up into the hill country. Bernie stage now at 0 visibility, so if you're going up 10, you're going to run into that fog. Kerrville, half mile. New Braunfels has improved ever so slightly. Not bad in and around town right now. Just be on the lookout over the next couple of hours. We had been watching that big batch of rain off there to the east. It almost looked like it wanted to kind of take a left-hand turn, but for the most part, it is sliding basically up to the north, kind of northwestwardly. Mid and upper 60s around the area. We've obviously started the warming process. Mold is high. That was yesterday's reading. Haven't gotten the updated count as of yet. One thing I can tell you is the aquifer went up again. Yesterday it was just over 3 feet. Today just over another foot. So got some rain east, and then maybe a sprinkly shower out there, some mist associated with some of that fog as well. And then a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms. Most everybody won't see rain today. We will make it up into the low 80s. Now, if you do see a shower or a storm, could have a decent downpour. That's going to be the situation tomorrow. I think a little bit better chance for some rain kind of scattered about the area. Still could see half inch and a half of rain quite easily with any of these showers and storms that do pop up. Rain chances will begin to taper off as we go in toward the middle part of the week, and temperatures will start to warm up, but only just basically back up to normal readings once we get into the latter portion of the week, and a little bit better rain chance than toward the weekend. All the details coming up in a couple of minutes. Sarah, next.
Thank you, Mike. San Antonio fire crews say a couch fire is to blame for an apartment going up in smoke just west of downtown. It happened just before 2 this morning in the 200 block of Violetta Place. 2 people were able to get out safely but were taken to the hospital. San Antonio police are investigating the cause of the fire and say one person is in custody as a person of interest.
A man in the hospital this morning after a shooting on the city's east side. So take a look. Police tell us this all unfolded around 4:15 this morning. This is 1000 block of Locke Street. A man found with gunshot wounds in the parking lot of an apartment complex. Last check, taken to BAMC in critical condition. Right now, police still investigating. No information yet on a suspect.
47-year-old Charles Peoples has been arrested. San Antonio police say Peoples targeted convenience store clerks in a series of aggressive armed serial robberies on the city's east side. One of the robberies happened back on May 10th at a Dollar Tree store in the 600 block of South W.W. White Road. During that robbery, Peoples held a woman at gunpoint and demanded money. Police say he had an active parole violation at the time of his arrest.
And San Antonio police charging 17-year-old Ray Espinoza with capital murder. The charge stems from a shooting back on January 11th in the 12,900 block of Clubhouse Boulevard. That shooting ended with an 18-year-old shot and killed. Police say Espinoza arranged a drug deal with multiple people, but had planned to rob them of the drugs. When the group arrived, Espinoza allegedly pulled out a handgun, ordered them to get out of the vehicle. One of the victims reportedly tried to fight back against Espinoza. That's when police tell us he fired his weapon into the vehicle, striking and killing that teen.
One person was killed and another was taken into custody after shooting at a northeast side car wash. San Antonio police say it happened around 7:30 last night in the 1200 block of Northeast Loop 410. SAPD says the suspect and the victim were in a vehicle going through the car wash when something happened that led to that shooting. The suspect is accused of shooting the victim once before coming out of the car wash and flagging down bystanders. Authorities say the suspect claimed the shooting was self-defense. The victim died at the scene.
Well, if you live in Kerrville or anyone you know does, listen up. A diesel leak being monitored near the water treatment plant in the city of Kerrville. So a statement from the city says the leak was detected at a business upstream of the water plant. The statement says Friday's storms actually caused damage that led to this leak. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has been notified. Kerrville city officials say appropriate precautions were taken. The city has switched water to the groundwater wells. The city will remain on groundwater wells until the water plant comes back online, which is expected to happen sometime next week.
The state's largest refugee resettlement agency says it will temporarily no longer take on new clients. Refugee Services of Texas says it can't afford to take on new clients for the next 120 days. So going forward, new refugees will be referred to national organizations. The agency says they have just become overwhelmed following the evacuation of Afghanistan, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and one person said his wife fled Afghanistan last year, and after 6 months of moving around, Refugee Services of Texas was the ones that helped them settle into their apartment.
We were hugging each other, and we were so happy. And as I said, I was about to cry. And finally, I was saying, okay, I'm in my new home.
So within those 4 months of intense budget cuts, the agency hopes donations will come in.
One person now dead, and a curfew imposed yesterday after a powerful tornado tearing through a community near the Texas coast. Take a look. This all happened before dawn yesterday. A 42-year-old Roberto Flores killed when a nearby trailer was lifted during the storm, crushing his mobile home in Laguna Heights. At least 10 more people hospitalized, including 2 people now in critical condition. At least 36 people currently staying in emergency shelters. They're trying to figure out what comes next after all of the damage from their storms.
Now to the early campaigning on the ground in Iowa. So weather preventing that anticipated political split screen between former President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
ABC's Alex Brachet in Des Moines reports what happens next for these two.
Overnight, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made an unplanned stop at a Des Moines barbecue joint. Our cameras were rolling as he and his wife shook hands and took pictures for over an hour, taking a victory lap after a day crisscrossing the state.
Governor, what made you come here tonight? Just want to say hi to people.
This restaurant is 2 miles from where former President Trump's rally was supposed to be before the campaign canceled, citing tornado warnings in the area Saturday afternoon.
Are you trying to send a message to Trump? Thank you. You got this, bro. We've had a great day. I mean, it's been great. There's been great folks all around, and we're excited to be in Iowa.
DeSantis is a distant second to Trump in national polls of Republican voters in GOP-leaning independents. But in Iowa, he's picked up more than 36 endorsements from state lawmakers, gaining ground in the crucial first caucus state. Overnight, former President Trump unveiled his own list of Iowa endorsements from each of the state's 99 counties.
Ron DeSantis, wrong on tax hikes, just not ready.
His campaign Friday releasing this attack ad on his top competition. Trump, for his part, has promised to reschedule Saturday's canceled event. The Republican Iowa caucus is less than a year away, but after this week, many Iowans told us it feels like the 2024 campaign is already in full swing.
We really get bombarded in Iowa. We're on the front lines to see what's really out there and what they're offering us.
That was Alex Prochet in Iowa. A supermarket racked up with numerous health code violations and a low score during a recent inspection.
While a Thai restaurant continued dealing with the rodent problem. These are just a few of the things KSAT Tim Gerber discovered when he went behind the kitchen door.
The Poco Loco Supermercado in the 3400 block of Nogalitos earned a 73 on their recent inspection. There was mold on corn tortilla chips and moldy cucumbers in a walk-in cooler. Pork lard stored on shelves needed to be refrigerated. It was also past the expiration date. A leak at the mop sink was causing water to pool on the floor. A re-inspection was ordered. Long John Silver's in the 5400 block of Walsham got an 84. There was a mold-like substance growing on a sauce jar in a cooler. The ice machine had a buildup of dirt and debris inside and out, and there was hair in there too. A cooler was too warm. The area around the frying equipment needed a good cleaning, and so did the fans, vents, and walls. Salsa's Mexican restaurant in the 5900 block of Rittiman earned an 85. Not bad, but the owner sure didn't want us telling you about it. He tried to block our camera. They earned deductions for improperly storing food. There was a pink mold-like growth in the ice machine, and the soda nozzles were contaminated with dirt and debris that needed to be cleaned. A dead roach was in the kitchen, and beans and eggs were found stored on the floor. The owner said he's made the corrections and hired pest control. Finally, we revisit Yaya's Thai restaurant on McCullough. Last year, they got a 76 and were dealing with a rodent problem. This time around, they improved to an 81, but mice were still getting inside. Hello. I stopped by this week to see if they've made any progress.
You guys had problems with rodents still. Do you know if that's been dealt with?
This manager agreed to talk even though she was dealing with a voice problem. She showed me they hired pest control and got good news last week.
Friday. They were back here on Friday and they gave you the all cleared? Everything clear. Okay.
She explained the building is very old and they've tried to get the owner to make repairs to keep pests out.
We already report to the owner of the building when they don't take the reaction immediately.
They hope customers understand they're doing all they can. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
Time now, just about 8:41, 68 degrees out.
Take a look outside with live cam on this Mother's Day. 68 degrees, but humid out there at 8:41. If you plan to go out to brunch or to church for Mother's Day, bring an umbrella just in case, but Mike will have our full forecast when we come back. It's that time of the year for graduation season for high school and college students.
And yesterday, a very special graduation at Texas State University. Tess Monta's sister, Faith, graduating after an incredibly difficult year without her sister. A picture of Tess filling a chair between her mother, Veronica, and her father, Jerry. The 10-year-old was killed nearly a year ago at Robb Elementary. So from Faith's cap to her tassel and stole, you can see pictures of little Tess all over the graduation.
So Faith's extended family, the loved ones of some of the other 21 victims, were there to cheer Faith on as she jumped into the river holding Tess's photo.
feels bittersweet. I'm glad that I could be here with all the people who were part of my journey. Though I've missed some tests, it sucks, but I'm ready to jump into the future now.
Faith has big plans for the future, plans that were shaped in part by what her and her family have gone through over the last year. We're going to have that story and a lot of tributes to the victims and survivors of the Robb Elementary tragedy on May 24th at 9 p.m. an hour-long KSAT 12 news special we're calling 1 Year in Uvalde. Well, back here at home, 68 degrees now, Mike. Yep. Last 24 hours, 48 hours really. It has been chaos out there with the weather.
Starting late Friday afternoon and, looking back to some of the computer models even leading up to that. And this was one of those weather events that even early last week we were talking about it and it, still held in there, which sometimes can be a rare. Sometimes, as time rolls on, things do change a little bit. But this one stayed very consistent. And yeah, moved through Friday night into early Saturday. As a lot of folks know, dumped a whole bunch of rain and always such a beautiful sight to see rain gauges like that. Look at that one just northwest of Lotus. A little bit more than 2 inches of rain. Of course, out there at the airport, 2.31 officially yesterday, the most single day in year and 2/3, roughly 577 days, I think it was. So that's wonderful. And we still have some more rain in the forecast. Obviously, there's nothing showing up out at the airport right now. A lot of rain well off to the east, and this is kind of dying down. It's sliding just to the north of our area. We'll have a couple of more showers trying to pop up here and there over the course of the next couple of days. Let me grab a different clicker, and I want to show you what's going on as far as this has been very encouraging looking at the Climate Prediction Center. Now, even last week I kept showing this, and it really hasn't changed this month. Obviously, it adds to it day in each and every day, but going into next weekend, starting next weekend, and then through the first part of the following week, still, now this doesn't mean we're going to be on the wet side, but the odds of getting a little bit more than what would be a normal amount of rain are decent, and we are also seeing temperatures that are going to be held down, so pretty good odds of being below normal. And same thing as we go further into the future, the following week in toward Memorial Day weekend, odds of having more than average or better than average rain pretty good, and odds of being below normal are pretty good as well. So yeah, this is just a fantastic forecast. Now, obviously shaping up to be a wet May, as is historically the situation, one of the wettest months around here. Visibility has come up slightly there in New Braunfels, 1.5 miles, 3/4 mile Bernie Stage, and Kerrville is now no fog at all, but just be on the lookout again for a couple of hints of fog here and there. Not much around the area as of right now. We are going to keep a chance of rain in the forecast. Obviously, there's nothing out there as of right now, but even later on this afternoon, a shower, a thunderstorm can't be ruled out here. It's not going to be most everybody, I guess the best way to put it is most everybody's not going to see rain today, but if you do still could have a decent downpour, that's going to be the situation tomorrow as well. We will top off at 81 later on this afternoon. So here's a computer model. It's got those showers, thunderstorms off to the east, all kind of sliding up to the north of us. And again, this one's not very bullish on rain popping up, but still there is that chance later on today. Then we go into tomorrow, and a couple of showers, probably have some fog starting off tomorrow morning as well. Slightly better chance to see a few scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm around the area tomorrow. And still, you could have a decent downpour with some of these showers and storms that do pop up tomorrow. So today, plenty of clouds out there. Could be just a squeeze of sunshine squeezing on through here and there. 75 with a stray shower trying to pop up. Take an umbrella if you are heading out for maybe some outdoor lunch plans or something like that for Mother's Day. Again, rain chances it's not going to rain everywhere. 81, couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms popping up around the area. Tomorrow, a little bit better chance for some rain. Still a few around on Tuesday. Then rain chances will begin to taper off as we go in toward Wednesday, Thursday, and temperatures will then start to climb slowly, but only back up to normal readings, and a ever so small or better chance of rain for Friday and Saturday.
So maybe Wednesday, Thursday, best days to cut the grass.
If it has a chance to dry out.
Right.
Yeah, because still with all the humidity around here, can all that moisture evaporate? So hopefully you cut it before it happened. Thank goodness I did.
Yeah. I need to bring attention to the suit. We haven't talked about it nearly enough. Do you wear it just especially when you fill in for us?
Just for you.
Oh.
Make us feel so special.
Go to my Instagram.
Shameless plug to social media.
Check out the video I shot during a break of Mike letting Max try on his coat. It was very sweet.
A seersucker suit, but we all think he should because he's got those just, fraternity boyish good looks over there.
Keep it PG Sunday morning. All right, 8:50.
Watch the video. It's so
68
good.
degrees out.
Okay, it's Mother's Day. It's why Mike is probably wearing his seersucker. We want to celebrate all of our GMSA moms. That was Phyllis Woods, our producer Colin's mom. This is...
Oh, happy Mother's Day, Mom.
This is Caitlin, her mom. Happy Mother's Day.
And wait for it. There we go.
There's my mom, Patty. Happy Mother's Day. We love you. And of course, all of our viewers, we asked you guys to send in pictures of your moms. You can see these on KSAT.com or right here when we're airing them on GMSA. Happy Mother's Day. Happy birthday, Max Massey. A day early. Tomorrow
I was going to say, why is there a picture?
Tomorrow is Max's.
I like how you picked a photo of you in it.
Well, yeah.
Oh, only one?
Only one. And you know what's so funny? I was going through I have
Are all these on your phone?
These are on my phone over the last 4 years. I have a lot of pictures of you on my phone. But happy birthday, Max. Happy 25th birthday.
Thank you.
We love you here on GMSA. And I hope tomorrow for your birthday is a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Mike, on my birthday, is it going to be a good day to sit outside?
Mother Nature will give you a birthday present of maybe a little bit more rain.
Okay, deal.
So, yes, and
Lazy
you can
day.
see plenty of clouds out there. We do have some fog to deal with this morning, so heading up I-10 in toward the hill country and a little bit around New Braunfels as well. Just kind of keep that in mind. Temperatures in the mid-upper 60s right now. And obviously a lot of mold out there. Chance for, why do I have the school bus forecast? I hit the wrong graphic.
Happy Mother's Day!
Happy Mother's Day! Kids get to go to school today.
There we go. And tomorrow, 77 degrees. I'm jumping ahead of myself. It is Sunday, by the way. And we will have another chance, even a couple of stray showers or storms today. So happy birthday, sir. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy
Thank
Mother's
you all
Day.
for dealing with our chaos.